Hi, everybody. Welcome to Infinite Horizon. Finally,
We're here.
Hang on,
we're
messing with
back.
time.
We're back.
Sorry, it's like a pie, but left in the oven too long this time.
Oh, whoa,
Really.
That's
Yeah.
what happened. All right.
Understandable.
man. Every time, I think I'm learning less and less about time.
It's, the more you learn about time, the less you actually know about it. That's just the way it works. All right. Well, welcome everybody. I saw we got a follow. Two Dukes. Thanks for the follow.
Hey,
Yeah. So we are. We have some stuff to talk about tonight before we get started. So first and foremost, this week's Ramblemancy, we're gonna be Freeman, John, and I will be talking about something. Oh, character creation
character
process.
creation.
Yeah, the process of character creation, like what specifically you do what process do you go to? What kinds of things do you think about? Like what sources of inspiration do you draw on or look to? That kind of stuff. So we're gonna be going through that kind of thing. And it's gonna be a fun conversation. We've got something really fun planned for next Friday as well, but I'll wait on that one because it's a fun one, and it's good enough that it deserves to be held in anticipation. So, so we'll announce that one soon, TM. But yeah, this week we're gonna be talking about character creation. It's gonna be a good time. So the main, I was trying to think if there was anything else that I could do to like draw out, like hold suspense for the actual, like the thing that people are actually interested in knowing about.
Hey, Lucas, what did you have for breakfast today? Like, how's your day going?
I actually had a bowl of mandarins with some like heavy whipping cream on it. It was pretty
Really?
good, yeah.
Ooh.
That's a real thing that did happen. I didn't just make that up. That
That's
is
really
I
what
know. I was there for it.
Yeah,
I
Caitlin
can
can
corroborate the story.
Oh, right on. Cool.
Oh, also, we have like a D&D show that's coming to the channel.
Oh, yeah, I don't think anyone really wants to hear about that, right? I don't
Yeah,
think.
you're probably right. You're probably right. But
But I want to hear about it.
well, okay, but since Olivia wants to hear about it,
Yeah,
we'll go ahead and
thank
talk
you.
about it.
I want to hear.
So we have a D&D show, an all LGBTQ cast of a Waterdeep Dragon Heist play, and we have our cast announcement ready for tonight. It's very exciting. And in tradition of our announcements, we have a announcement poster, which I will transition us over to right
Ooh.
now.
Woohoo!
So
we made it in Canva. Yeah. Woo!
yeah,
Canva is the best.
So
It is. I love Canva.
we are announcing tonight our new show coming.
Oh, it's not up yet.
Just a couple. It is up now.
Oh, it is up. Yeah.
Yeah,
Woo! Do
coming
that bit again.
in just a couple of weeks,
Woo!
or next week actually, is the first prologue episode of Into Deep, a water deep or
I
dragon
love that
heist
title.
actual play. Yeah.
So sick.
So yeah, some of you who've been hanging around the Discord may have noticed some new faces with the cast role or in the a new writer role. Colin Kelly, who is going to be running, he's going to be DMing the whole thing, is a brand new addition to the Rule of Lore writers room, as well as the DM for Waterdeep Dragon Heist actual play Into Deep. The rest of the cast, I'll kind of let them introduce themselves when the time comes, but you'll get a chance to meet the cast and their characters in sort of smaller groups, because while the actual campaign doesn't, like the actual Waterdeep Dragon Heist campaign doesn't actually begin until we come back from break in January, next week and the following week we will be having two kind of character prologue episodes that will just sort of follow just the immediate events leading up to the campaign, following just a couple of the characters at a time. So you'll get a chance to see, to get to know these characters sort of in their own little, what Colin is referring to as session 0.5s. So yeah, it'll be really fun. I'm really excited for it. Like I've been saying for weeks, I think that you will all fall in love with this cast immediately. They are wonderful. These episodes will be airing. Thank you, John. Tuesdays at 3:30 p.m. Pacific time. So a little earlier than we normally do our shows, but But yeah, so those will be available there. They'll be available on VOD immediately after the broadcast, and they will be available on YouTube as well, just like our other programming. So, that's when we will be running those shows. I'm so excited for this, you guys.
Oh, they're gonna have such a good time. I'm so
Yeah.
excited that we get to
Yeah.
bring another whole new cast
A
onto the
whole
channel. It's
new
gonna be
cast,
so
yeah.
cool.
Thank you for telling only me, Lucas.
Yes.
Yeah,
that
was for Olivia.
So, and everybody else who heard that, just purge it from your memory because it was only for Olivia.
Mhm.
All right. So, God, I can't remember now if we have other things that are happening. I'm sure we do, but schedule stuff. We go dark for the holidays starting the week of December 20th. Is that I say that?
I
but-
believe that is.
Yeah, the week of December 20th. So the week before that, our last broadcast will be Ramblemancy on the 18th. And then we will go on hiatus for the holidays until we come back with Infinite Horizon on January 6th. So first week of January. So yeah, so we'll have three-ish, 3.5, 2.5. I don't know how many weeks off, and
Something
we'll
like
be
that,
back.
too.
And then we'll be back. So yeah. That's kind of the schedule as things go for now. So In Too Deep, by the way, will be back not the first week of January, but the following week. So they won't be in the first week back. But yeah. How numbers exactly, Geekouts. I don't know how any of that works.
True.
Oh, thank you for the Nightbot command, John. Yeah. Cool. That was a lot of stuff. Does anybody have anything else that we need to talk about? No.
I
Let's go
had
back to
granola
space.
cereal for breakfast.
Ooh,
It was
Ooh,
very
yeah.
nice.
Good. All right. Well, that's as good a note as any to begin our episode on. So,
Thrilling.
without any further ado, let's get into tonight's episode of Infinite Horizon.
Some will say this is the end. We're surrounded, but we won't give in. No. Who will save us? Who will save us? Sometimes you gotta let it go. Leave it up to the hero. Who will save us? Who will save us? When the truth's in the shadows. All hail to the heroes. They're gonna save us. Yeah, save us. Yeah, save us today.
We're back.
Cauliflower steam.
Hey guys.
Everybody at the last
Gals,
minute trying to
everybody
just like
else.
throw in what they ate for breakfast.
Thank you. I had date nut bread. It was really
Oh,
delicious.
good. Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. Freeman, sorry. What did you say? Something about cauliflower?
It was absolute gibberish. Yes. Oh, you got it. You got it. Never mind.
I heard
Ca-
cauliflower before we went
For
live.
breakfast?
And yeah.
I tried to say it so fast that it was like a wheelbarrow going down a hill too quickly. It was giving
Good, I
momentum
love
and it just
I got that image exactly. Perfect.
Oh gosh.
what a way to start. I love it.
Welcome back, everybody. Let's
Welcome
do it.
back.
Let's go to space.
All right. Well, hold on. Before we get started,
Oh.
I do want to take a moment to just bask in the in Drax's presence because he's here and I'm so excited.
Yeah.
Oh, wait a second. What? Why would you do that?
We're appreciating you,
We're
damn
just-
it.
We're
I
just
didn't sign up for this. I
You
didn't sign
did.
up for
You
appreciation.
did.
this is what you tacitly
all
agreed
there.
to when you just agreed to be on the show.
Damn it. Should have read the fine print.
Yeah.
This will happen every episode henceforth.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
At the beginning of every episode, we make everyone say "We love you, Drake," and then we get to play.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay. Wow,
our new
guys, there's something
bit.
going wrong with my camera. Wow.
Oh, no.
Good thing Drac is the last one. In the
I know, that would've
camera
messed
lineup,
up
so
the whole
it- yeah,
That would have messed up everything.
Good.
All
he
right.
knows what he's doing. He's right. He did the research for that bit.
All right. Well,
Gosh.
when we left off Infinite Horizon,
We got Drac back, and
we got
we're all
Drac.
excited.
Previously on Infinite Horizon, we had a bit of a wild ride last episode. In the 5 months since the previous season, the crew of Awakener has spent time building the resistance and merging disparate groups together into some sort of working order. But most recently, the most recent event that sort of shook the resistance was the reappearance of their ally Teon, a Chemoth time traveler from the future, a resistance fighter who had assisted them in a previous endeavor to rescue several fledgling powered people from the corporation. From the corporations. Teon returned along with his significant other, Ada Sprix, the Orzai hacker, and the two of them informed everyone that the future was once again in trouble, this time from some sort of time anomaly that had its genesis in this current present time, while the exact origins of this time anomaly, this parasitic energy that was causing destruction in the future, was unknown. The time period was too much of a coincidence to pass up for Teon and Ada, who came back to enlist the assistance of Teon's friends, the crew of Awakener. All of this led them to the conclusion, as with much speculation, led them to the conclusion that there's very likely, via Teon's suspicions that the corps are somehow involved, there's very likely a connection between this space-time anomaly and the conduit that the corps, that Silverbreak Technologies in particular, had developed illegally. Now, the thing to remember is that conduits, which are used, they facilitate most of the long-range travel in the galaxy, are mysterious artifacts from a long past civilization that have been rediscovered and are being used now. And information about this technology is still unknown because it is a closely guarded secret by the caretakers, the insectoid biomechanoid species that maintains them. They allow the usage of the conduits, but not any kind of studying of how the technology works. And therefore, the revelation that the corporations had built their own was not only startling because it was a feat previously thought impossible, but because it is extremely illegal. Such a development could only lead to some kind of galactic travel arms race, which very well might be exactly what's happening right now in the galaxy. Unconfirmed, but at this point in time, given that the location of this conduit, this artificially created conduit, is still unknown, the crew of Awakener realized that the one person that they know, the key link between themselves and finding this conduit, is the one person that they know has seen it, and that is Alma, their friend and crewmate who had been kidnapped at the end of the previous season, as in addition to their ship Awakener, to which Alma herself is linked. So, this led to all kinds of preparations to begin a mission to find Alma and rescue her, and hopefully, through her, find some way to reach the source of whatever this future uh, parasitic time anomaly is. And that is basically where we left off. As the uh, crew um, took off in their borrowed ship, a Skoru vessel known as the Solar Flyer, took off, leaving the Resistance base behind for the first time in 5 months. So, where we pick up tonight, I'm going to say y'all are in transit at the moment. You are doing an FTL burn towards the nearest conduit. The nearest conduit is pretty far away. It is about 5 days at full FTL burn from the Resistance base. Right now, I would say that you are probably. I think we can probably just sort of montage through these few days. The ship itself, the Solar Flyer, is close quarters. It is certainly not the Awakener. It has very limited space for moving around and for living. It was having been designed for a crew of scientists in short-term expeditions. So yeah. Given that, anybody have any particular scenes or things that they want to have happen during this time, during these this transit period?
Mason will and kind of just look around the ship. He hasn't been on a ship in a while. He's not been on this ship. Mason would like to get a lay of the land, even though it's a very intimately small ship. I'd still like to look around.
Sure. And you're right. There is not much to see. It is a small vessel. Basically the layout of the ship, as I sort of mentioned a little bit last time, but it was kind of towards the end. There's the cockpit towards the front, which is just a two-seat pilot co-pilot situation, and then immediately through the doors, it leads back to just a sort of corridor, sort of staging area where there are seats facing each other on the walls, where passengers can sort of set themselves in during some of the more turbulent times. Beyond that, the ship widens out just a little bit, and goes into on like looking towards the back from the front. On the left side, there's like crew quarters, things like that, which is just sort of like a single room, bunks, and like this sort of like shower bathroom like attached, just sort of like right off of the bunk room. Beyond on the opposite side of the corridor, on the right side, looking towards the back, is the galley kitchen facilities. And immediately behind both of those is engineering, the engine room, and just sort of pretty cramped, claustrophobic space. Underneath all of that, one deck down is the cargo hold, which is very small, intended to carry mostly collected samples or to store any kind, like some of the like additional equipment that would be used for in the galley or in the engine room, so spare parts, food, things like that.
Is it like a ladder you can shoot down, slide down to
there's
get there?
a
Is it
there's a
very...
there's a small lift that goes
Oh, okay.
between sections, and then there is sort of a like what do you call a staircase that's ramps instead of stairs? Like what do you what do you like? We're basically just sort of like switchback, like it's like a single
Oh yeah, just switchback ramp.
switchback ramp, that leads down like between the two decks essentially.
Cool. I'm
yeah.
gonna go down there.
Yeah.
I'm gonna look for anything interesting, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. I think I do know what you mean.
Are we doing it? Is it actually happening?
I think it is. I think Mason's looking for ciphers. Actually, would one of you real quick give me a d6 roll and -2.
Oh, okay. I can get it.
Okay.
5 minus 2 is 3.
Okay. So that's kind of the limit to what you're going to be able to find in here. So
That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't
not a
think
lot
there'd
of
be
room in here.
I didn't think there'd be like any more level 8 like mouthwashes and to find or.
Level 8 mouthwashes? Yeah, no, probably not this time.
That'd be weird if that happened twice. It'd kind of be. I feel like it might be a little rude at that point.
Yeah, like the universe is trying to tell you something.
Yeah. This is... All right, so let me get the table out. You'd think that after all this time, given that the system is literally called the Cypher system, I would have bookmarked the Cypher section, but no. That requires
We're
forethought.
bad at looking for them.
We're bad at looking.
All
Yeah,
right,
it's
so
true.
Yeah, you kind of are.
all right, so since Mason's kind of like looking around, go ahead and roll a d6.
I got a 3.
Okay. Cool. Go ahead and give me a d100 percentile
Ah,
roll.
There we go. I got a 54.
54, nice. Okay. Let's see.
Oops, I dropped
54.
my pencil.
That's
I like to think that Mason is
Interesting.
he has his magnifying high-tech magnifying glass. He's just kind of looking at the different things and something catches his eye.
sounds good. Okay, cool. So the I'm trying to decide. Sorry, it's taking me a long time. I'm just trying to decide
No
if
worries.
it's like if I'm gonna have you do these all at once or if I'm gonna have you do them all individually.
Oh,
Tell you what, I'm gonna write them down as you roll them, and then I'll give them all to you at the same time. That way, if you miss any, I can just go back and refer to them.
oh, okay.
So,
Hey.
Stuff.
okay, go
Woo!
ahead and give me another d6 roll.
3 again.
Okay, percentile.
45.
I don't know what that is, but it sounds cool. Okay, and go ahead another d6.
1.
Okay, and percentile.
68.
Oh, that's cool. Okay. Now, let's see. So we've got. How does the alphabet work, you guys?
Hmm.
It doesn't?
That's right.
Yeah, that's very yeah. All right. So the first thing that you find is a disguise module.
Oh.
So it allows you to you can change your features for an hour to appear as somebody, as a specific individual that you have previously interacted with.
Okay.
I'll give you the page number so that you can kind of
Perfect.
yeah, it's on 350.
All right. Cool.
That could come in handy.
It sure could. Man,
I think it's still okay.
let's see. Good thing
Maybe not for me.
the next both of the other two start with the same letter, so that's cool. The That's incredible. Okay. The other, so here's basically what I'm going to say about this is that this is like technology that has sort of been like supplied for you for your mission. So this is like stuff that probably Wire would have told you that she sort of procured some supplies for you, some tech and stuff like that. And at this point, Mason, you're just kind of like going through it, taking inventory basically. So
Something he learned.
yeah, this is a device that is called a mind restricting wall. Creates an an immobile plane of permeable energy up to. That's not important. Intelligent creatures passing through the plane fall unconscious for up to 1 hour or until slapped awake or damaged. So that's
Whoa.
page 356.
Okay.
And then where did it go?
Whoa, that's cool.
So yeah, that's a
For a whole hour?
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
Would be very useful.
Huh. Interesting.
Only we-
Okay. The other thing
Only
you
we
get.
had these when we were doing a heist.
This is a device that Mason has probably seen before and had experience with because it is very useful. Particularly, it's most often used by those in like espionage or in like or working in like investigations, things like that. Sometimes it is used on those who are working in investigations, which can be unfortunate. But it's called a memory switch. So it's a device that allows you essentially to affect the minds of all thinking creatures within immediate range of the point where you toss it. Victims are dazed and take no action for a round, and they have no memory of the preceding hour.
I love it.
Yeah.
Good. Okay.
So yeah, that's what you find. That one's page 355.
Okay. I love it.
Yeah. So just some handy tech that might be useful to you during your investigations.
Love it. I'll probably hold on to the disguise module, and I'll make a note of the other two to tell the others about later on once I meet up with them.
Sounds good.
I think I can only hold on to one extra one right now.
Yeah, sounds good. Anybody else have anything in particular that they want to do during this sort of 5-day stint in a sardine can?
Forget if I already did it about the shipper. I think she did already. Deep dive into what this ship is and what it's capable of. I think I did that as soon as we knew we were leaving. So I
Yeah.
think she just familiarizes with the ship and uses all of her anxious energy to maintenance.
Yep, fair enough.
Maintain the ship.
I have a question for you. Has
Yeah.
has Bina flown at all during this time?
I think she did after I think Jade took us out of Atmo, and then after that, I think Bina took over.
Okay. How did that go? How did Bina feel about that?
Oh, she was very stressed out. Not that she didn't think she could do it, but because she hasn't flown a ship since Awakener, which I'm sure people would, like the other people on the ship, would be aware of if they thought about it for a second. Like they're like, oh, Bina's fine. Like, oh shit, I don't think Bina's flown in 6 months or whatever. Yeah, I think she was a little bit just like overwhelmed. And then I think if Jade was was flying with her, then he would have just felt the kind of like nauseating anxiety for a little bit. And then after we like got into it, I think there was like a little bit of rekindlings of exhilaration. Not full big burst, but it's there, and has not been for a very long time. So
Yeah.
I think having her hands in the controls was kind of a big deal.
I'm gonna say that anybody who has been around Bina for a while feels a slight easing of tension that you didn't even know that was there.
She's been kind of a pain in the ass to have around on the I bet the people she's normally around on the station are like, wow, I feel like I can breathe a little easier. I don't know, did they change something in the like atmospheric control? No, Bina's just off base.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
So yeah, that definitely
Yeah.
big deal. She would not express in any way, but people who are close to her can probably feel it and see it, but she does not make comment on it on her own.
I feel like every time we walk by and see Bina like flying, I'm just like Peach is like a smile on her face, like, oh, it's just everything's okay.
Things are righting themselves.
Yeah. I think Pete should be doing a lot of like trying to find kind of a quiet corner that doesn't exist in this, in this ship, to try and basically do a lot of like distance viewing. And one, she'd want to kind of, it's mostly like I feel like intel gathering to like send back to Wire and to the folks, but she would definitely be checking in on where Aviva would be, because she wants to kind of do some recon of what's going on with the Theocracy of Suns and like see what is going on there. So she would probably view like her Aviva's like probably like the main conference room. For people that don't know, Aviva was Peach's kind of fellow governmental person, but she was with the Theocracy of Suns, also love interest in Session Zero a long time ago. So yeah, that's like one place she would be looking at for sure.
So as for quiet places, the closest thing to a quiet place here on this ship is in the cargo hold. Unfortunately, because it is the closest thing to a quiet place, it means that it's hard to find a time when it's not occupied. But I would say that you do get your turn eventually, and you just sort of using your distance viewing.
Yeah, on Geoterra. How far are we from Geoterra? I don't know. There's no distance limit.
No,
I mean,
yeah. Gosh, from here, pretty far. You're pretty far. You're quite a few, like. Yeah, you're quite a ways. Basically, right now, Geoterra is on the complete opposite side of ascendancy territory from where you currently are. So it's a ways, but that seems to not be an issue with this, as you find yourself standing in a conference room that looks like at the moment it has been turned into something of more of like a sort of collective workspace, where you can see multiple like workstations that people have set up at the conference room table, documents sort of spread across. At the moment, there's only one person occupying the room, and from what you can tell and from what you know, what you're looking, it's nighttime on Geoterra, and there's currently only one person occupying the room, the workspace, only one of the workstations that's active, and you can see Aviva, who is a human woman, probably in her mid to late 20s, who is currently leaned over, kind of a curl of long dark hair, sort of like having escaped and kind of gotten in front of her face as she's leaning over, reading some of the diplomatic reports that are on her console. And she's just sort of, you can see that her eyes are just sort of fully focused as they're flicking back and forth reading, her brow slightly furrowed, as she just sort of idly just sort of pulls at the strand of hair that's sort of come loose, and she's just sort of looking. Not much to see here, really. She's just kind of working, but seems mostly as she was the last time you saw her. Maybe a little bit slightly more careworn. Some like very, very light circles under the eyes.
Can I tell what she's reading? I have a sensor in the room, so I don't know if I can make out the exact words, but like, can I see what she's working on at all?
Actually, at this point, yeah, you can, and it looks like you said, it's difficult to make out exactly like what the words are, but you can at least tell that what she's looking at are they're not they're basically they're informational dossiers of the kind that you have looked over quite a bit, that depict they have information, they sort of delineate information on generally they're used to delineate information about other ambassadors or political figures that you may be interacting with soon, just so that you can get an idea of who they are, what kind of their platforms are, and so that makes it easier on you to interact with them. Often will also contain things like cultural conceits of whatever species they might be. But these in particular are interesting to you because these are actually, even without being able to read the exact words on them, you can tell that they are much emptier than they would normally be. And as you can kind of tell what they are, what they're on, it starts to make sense to you because these appear to be information. She's doing research on the Resistance. Which makes sense because Wire has, on your suggestion, made contact. Tentative preliminary contact. It looks like right now you've caught her in the middle of like doing her research for it.
Oh my gosh, how embarrassing. I think Peach says that to whoever's in the cargo hold. Like if anybody like her eyes are closed, she's sitting in the corner, like kind of focused, and she just says that.
Yeah.
I'll say I have something that Bina would be doing in the cargo hold, which I could talk about later. But Bina's probably like looks at what she's doing and then keeps doing it.
Like oh, Peach is just being weird.
Yeah.
She thought it was directed at her for a second and was like, okay, like.
I think Peach kind of notes that one, she's like alone and working late in this area, and I had something else, but I can't remember. I think another time she definitely also would have looked to see Aviva's like room to see if she was by herself. We don't have to make that a whole scene. I'm just saying
Sure.
Peach definitely would have done that.
Yeah, I mean, to the best of your, at least in the moment when you looked, she was alone.
Okay.
So
Like no signs of like anyone else being there.
hard to say, unless
Okay.
you want to make a roll for it. Do you want to make a roll?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
My powers of deduction.
This is the best possible thing that we could be using a roll for at the beginning of the episode. So go ahead and give me. This is going to be.
Great.
This is an
Oh,
intellect
God.
roll.
So good.
And the difficulty of it is going to be. I'm gonna make the difficulty 3 on this one.
Okay. Sorry, this is an intellect roll.
Yeah, it's a perception essentially.
Yeah, cool.
Listen,
Okay, well I get one free level of effort.
what are superpowers for if
Um,
not for spying on your exes?
Oh God.
I know. I mean, I don't technically we never broke up.
You just were kidnapped and disappeared for 8 months.
Yeah, I'm sure
yeah.
she sees it that way.
Yeah, I'm sure she does.
Yeah.
So one free level of effort, and
So that's automatically down to a 2.
yeah, I'm gonna spend another level of effort just to
Alright, yeah.
get that down a little,
Yeah, absolutely.
you know. Okay.
So,
So difficulty 1.
yep, you just need a 3 or better.
Oh wait, Ugh, this die always
I
fails me
can't
when
decide
I need
if
it
it'll be
most.
funnier if you succeed or fail on this.
I rolled a 2.
Oh my god.
It's so funny.
I love that.
I think that was the
Oh,
answer. I think it
no.
was funnier that you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. So yeah, you best you can tell. I mean, it's her stuff in there, not really any signs of anybody else as far as you can tell.
Okay. And that's, I mean, I think there's some other recon that is done that's like actually, you know, I mean, that's helpful for Peach, but like that's actually like something she can send back to Wire. Like she probably tries to sit in on some different like meetings in other places too.
Sure,
Like,
sure.
but that's the only one that I wanted to do.
That's terrifying. Like, think about that. Think about this from the perspective of like the Resistance. If you're like, at any moment, our boss can just be here and we would never know.
That is, yeah. terrifying.
That's true, and it lasts for an hour, so I just have to do it, and it just like there's just a sensor for an hour, and I can hear, see, and smell,
That's
and I just have to have been there.
that is truly terrifying. Like, I'm so
We're
glad that
getting-
none of
we're-
my bosses in real life have had this ability. Like, not for any particular reason, because it's not like I do anything bad, but like, just the idea of it.
Do not wish to be perceived, please and thank you.
Like, my performance at every job I've ever had tanked significantly whenever my boss was directly watching me.
Watching, yeah.
Yeah.
My existence
you just get
begins as I walk
stressed.
into work, and my existence ends for you as soon as I
I
leave work.
leave, yeah.
Please
Yeah.
and thank you.
Yeah, we're getting high tier, y'all. What are we four? Are we all
Yeah.
4? Most of us.
Everybody's
are
4, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
Or
around
that's
4, yeah.
This-
we're getting up there, y'all. We got some
Yeah.
pretty scary abilities.
Yeah,
think
I got a real
distance viewing
cool
is
ability I
third
can't wait to
tier.
use.
I know. I'm excited to see.
Yeah, so that's all. Just do some recon, just sitting there
Sure,
for like
we-
a couple hours.
That's what we'll call it. We'll call it recon.
yeah, you know,
All right, Taeyeon, anything
looking on her Facebook.
anything in particular that you want to be doing during this time?
I mean, compared to everyone else, it's not as lighthearted now that I think about it. I think Taeyeon's been sleeping awfully. I think it's been a thing for him for a while, but I think, especially now, back with the rest of the group, I think he's having a lot of dreams about when, as far as everyone else knows, no one knows this, but he knows everyone died. And I think he still has nightmares about that. He probably still has nightmares about the first permutation of the timeline where most of his squad died on the raid on the HQ as well. I think he's been sleeping his sleep hasn't been great. I think it's been happening for a while now, so I think Ada would know as well. And whenever he wakes up, he would just immediately work out because he's got a lot of energy, and the only way he kind of can control it is to do physical stuff. So I think he'd wake up in kind of a sweat and just immediately get out of bed and just start doing whatever kind of workout you can do in this tight space.
Almost always, when you wake from these dreams, from these nightmares, Ada is almost always there when you wake up, and as soon as you sit up, she just sort of will just gently just sort of rub your back, doesn't say anything, just sort of sits with you until you decide that it's time to get up and get moving, and then they just sort of go about their business, never far, just sort of like always hovering just on the edge of your vicinity, waiting just in if necessary to kind of step in. But yeah, this is probably a routine kind of now for the two of you. Developed.
Yeah. I don't even think she knows that she died in that permutation of timeline. I think he's told her that like a lot of members died, but never not that she did. So even she's kind of in the dark, and yeah, he's probably just doing like burpees, push-ups. Like it's probably to the point where it's probably not great for his body, but like he just needs to distract himself with something.
And there, we'll say that at one particular moment, as you're doing that, doing like burpees and whatever, Vix is just sort of sitting on the floor, not too far away, just where he's positioned himself with what essentially is like basically like a fruit leather type thing, right? Like just sort of sitting there, just watching you go.
Like 54, 55, 56.
He doesn't say anything for the most part. He just makes facial expressions. That it takes Taeyeon a while, but eventually you would realize that he's like mimicking your own kind of like workout expressions.
I think Taeyeon kind of like stops and like, are you making fun of me or something? What?
No, I'm just trying to figure out how everything works around here.
He can feel your emotions, by the way. I think you know that.
Yeah, no, I know that. I don't know if Taeyeon knows that, but yeah, I know that.
He just says,
do you want to like figure it out somewhere else?
I mean, not really.
Taeyeon Tayon just like sighs and just goes back. And then you just hear him. I'm like, oh my god, I don't understand the crew. Why would they let him back in? I mean, he quite literally murdered someone right in front of me, right in front of all of us. But and just keeps going.
Yeah, as you continue your count, he's like raising up his food to his face and continuing count with you, and he's counting at each of his bites, just as you're going.
Oh no,
Created
Vic's
a
gonna
monster.
annoy Tayon. Oh no. Do you know what? Yeah, I think at some point Tayon just stops and then walks up to Vix and just goes, Are you trying to like get on my nerves?
I'm just trying to make friends.
Is this how you do it?
Is it working?
No.
Well, then I'll have to try something else. And he stands up and walks out of the room.
Tayon is like, he's trying to control it. I think you can see like so he has like a core kind of going on in his chest, and you can see like the source of energy just getting faster, and he's like, tries to calm himself, and just goes back to working out.
Yep.
You have too much fun doing that, Lucas.
I love it. It's great.
Okay, sorry.
I didn't do anything. It's
annoyed.
Vix. It's Vix is doing it.
Being annoyed Tayon is great. It's a lot of fun.
All right. Anything else?
Yes, I had one more thing that I had wanted to do. I think you said we have 5 days to the.
About 5 days, yeah.
So I think about the third-ish day. Bina still has her weird sleep schedule. I think she gets in, like as soon as she steps onto a ship, she flips back into freighter sleep mode, which means she's up every couple of hours and then down for a couple of hours. And I think at some point she kind of realizes where they're going and kind of gets jittery again about like, this is just going home, kind of. I mean, not home, but like she lived there for like 5 or 6 years. And then I think at one point she remembers what's there and kind of starts gears turning like, that's a stupid idea. And then she's like, but like, no, like we're not gonna, maybe. And then she spends a little while in the cargo hold trying to see how big it is.
Yeah. It's provided you don't put too much else in here, it's definitely big enough.
Okay. Yeah. She kind of, I think, is excited then.
Yeah.
At that, it's like 5 in the morning on like the circadian cycle, like ship sleep cycle, and it's like she has this realization as she like is moving some things around and like measuring, and it's kind of like, oh shit, like it's very, very excited for no one to feel, but like she is for a minute.
Yeah.
And then like goes to, I think at the time where she sleeps for the rest of the night, goes to bed happy for the first time in a while, and I think is has a very pleasant last little burst of sleep before the day comes.
All right. Well then,
oh, sorry, I have one more thing. We have like a fucking words to look up, like getting into like looking up people, like we can do that without, what is the word I'm looking for? Like we're encrypted, like we can.
Oh, like the same. You're talking about the same thing that Awakener had, where you can like.
Yeah. Did Wire give us anything, or can Ada Sprix help with that?
Basically, yeah, Ada could, but it's mostly unnecessary. Although she probably tries to do it anyway. Like to fix it and like upgrade it. But Wire would have done that. It's like day one kind of stuff. Like Wire did that to all of the Resistance ships.
I figured we would.
Yeah.
I want to look up Casimir because the last time I saw him was less than ideal, and I want to make sure see if I can figure out if he's like, if there's like Spacebook, and like find out like where is he still on 23? did he make it out of, like, I saw him, I got kidnapped the last time I saw him. I don't know what happened to him. Like, I want to see if he's still around.
Okay. I'm actually gonna have you make a roll on that one.
Oh shit. Okay.
Check his LinkedIn.
It's gonna be an intellect roll. The difficulty is going to be 3, but I have there is a caveat, and there is some information that you won't be able to get unless you hit a higher difficulty that I'm gonna keep secret for now.
Okay.
So
Okay.
yeah.
So difficulty 3? Sorry, what did you say?
Difficulty 3.
Okay. And it's intellect.
Mm-hmm. And this is basically like more of like a research kind of investigation type.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I have free level of effort.
Mm-hmm.
Don't think I have anything else that will help with this.
Okay. Your terminal, and not by itself because it's pretty far. Well, no, your terminal counts as an asset to like for knowledge tasks. So yeah.
Okay. So yeah. So asset, and that would probably be. That's probably what I've got.
Okay.
So I will roll for that.
Yeah.
Do. Casimir, we're coming for you. Oh my god, 3.
Okay, so you hit it.
Got it. Just like there's more info that I don't know about.
Yeah. So you actually find like sort of the employee personnel roster for Station 23's Star Dock. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And Casimir is listed as an employee.
And I am not.
Right. No, you're not. You are definitely not.
You're like, screw that shit.
Yeah, you're not listed as an employee on there.
So it's up to date. That's all.
Yeah. What you do see, yeah, he. Oh, is that true? Hold on, let me think about this for a second, because I'm just getting my timeline straight here, because I think. Yeah, so he is listed as an employee, but you see that his, like, under his section, it is listed as outdated. Like, the info on his is listed as outdated. So, which is a common thing that they do if they haven't had a chance to, like, go through, like, you would know this having worked there. If there's been some sort of change in some of the information that's, like, on the registry, but they haven't had an opportunity to actually go in and, like, make the changes. It's usually just a flag for both people who are looking at it from the outside and also those whose job it is to go through and update the information. So yeah, so his entry is listed as outdated.
And some of my other team is still there. Like, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Bina was never good at the that side of tech stuff, so she's just kind of like, I guess we'll figure out when we get there. So that was the only other thing I wanted to do.
Yeah.
I wanted to look up Casimir.
Sounds good. All right. Well,
I think that Mason and Peach would have been training also together because Zaya was not there to keep up her routine, so she would have been with Mason.
Yeah.
But that's the only other thing I wanted
cool.
to say.
I like that.
the cargo hold is a reasonable place to continue that. It's the one place where there's like enough kind of space to do it in. So yeah. Occasionally the cargo hold is taken up by a sparring Peach and Mason.
I love that.
All right. So then in that case, we are going to go ahead and cut to the day of arrival as you arrive at the conduit at the edge of this region. And you drop out of FTL to see just the enormous ring-like construct free-floating in space. As it comes up, immediately, Jade pulls up displays, and you can see so typically what happens when you approach a conduit is that the conduit communicates with ships in a language that is largely incomprehensible to most people. Over time, people, through sort of mostly trial and error, people have learned to interpret some of the meanings behind some of the, like, this essentially gibberish that gets broadcast from the conduits, and have created like the meaning being like another conduit, right? Like knowing which symbols indicate conduit, and over the years have been able to sort of map the conduit network in that way. It is a slow process. It is why discovering conduits takes a long time, because it is dangerous to use a conduit with no conduit on the end point.
Get slingshotted into space with no way back.
Yeah, and maybe even if you end up somewhere where you just happen to find something, there's no guarantee that you will decelerate in a safe way. So it's dangerous, is what I'm saying. Space exploration via conduits is dangerous.
There's slingshots and also catcher's mitts.
Yeah. So
you can play without them, but like it's harder.
So over the years, basically, since conduit travel had become more, people have developed computers, like shipboard computers, that essentially parse some of that info, and that they're constantly updating with info about the conduit network. So whenever there's like a new conduit that is discovered, it gets updated. Now this doesn't happen very often. This like maybe once every decade, maybe less often more recently, as sort of exploration has expanded outwards. These onboard computers sort of parse a lot of that stuff, a lot of the gibberish that is sent by the conduits, and has learned to sort of map which receiving conduit you are jumping to. So right now, what you're seeing scrolling across your screen is just that gibberish, and watching the computer parsing some of it and charting the course to the Station 23 conduit. It takes all of 30 seconds, and before Jade goes, "All right, looks like we're locked in. Whenever you're ready."
Okay, we're gonna need someone. They're gonna probably want to talk to us before we dock.
Oh, yeah.
Once we get there, I'm gonna ping Peach to get up here.
Okay, on my way.
Mhm.
And then also inform everyone that we're at the conduit. We'll be jumping momentarily over the intercom on the ship. And we go.
Bina, do we need to do anything to get permission to land, or can we just...
They're gonna ask. They're probably gonna. I mean, what I would know the procedure. They're probably just gonna ask who we are, what's up. Here's the procedurals. Come dock with us.
Chances are there's
Do you need any maintenance? Do you need any because it's a big port.
Yeah, chances are you're not gonna be met with too much suspicion.
Okay, I was just wondering what the protocol was for this.
Yeah, is it they want to talk to us, or is it just like you submit digital credentials? I should ask, 'cause we've met different ones. It's a big one. They might streamline it with just digital credentials.
They might. I feel like Station 23 probably does streamline that way.
Okay.
Generally only with like the big liners, bringing like
talk to someone.
Yeah, because then it's a matter of knowing like, okay, well, which dock am I going to? That kind of thing.
Space.
We need like
You're huge.
Yeah.
Let's not block anyone in. Like,
exactly.
Yeah.
So
we'll bring Peach up, and I'll give everyone a rundown on here's what the station is like. Here's what everything looks like. But just in case it's changed in the past year.
Generally speaking, it's automated. Occasionally, the most verbal contact that you'll probably have with anybody is maybe some sort of like verbal confirmation of like,
have you received the info? Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, we're talking.
But yeah, so
I put up whatever the like questionnaire you get in. We want no maintenance. We want no boarding. Like, we know how to do this. Like, yes, I've been to this station before. Yes, I've used your services before. Like, don't touch our basically, because you get some
no, I don't
really
want to fill out the survey, the customer service survey.
Doing fine. Don't talk to us. Like,
don't send me the messages.
Don't send me promotionally any.
Don't send me the emails. Yeah, basically all of that.
Yeah.
Like, it's a big. I feel like they do have stuff like this is a huge.
Oh
port.
yeah.
Like, this
Absolutely.
is a big major port.
It's mostly because Station 23 is in neutral territory, and it is right on the cusp of. It's like in the small amount of space between Ascendancy territory and Commonwealth territory. So it's huge, major. Yeah.
Directly next to a conduit. So.
Yeah, it's right next to a conduit. So yeah, this is sort of one of the most trafficked throughways. So as you approach the conduit, you watch as the thing just sort of slowly, just one ring at a time around, just sort of starts activating, and you watch as a sort of plane, like sort of a sheen, comes across the mouth of the ring, and then seems to extend almost in sort of this like it almost more like less like it's moving and more like a weird shifting of perspective, like when you do those hidden picture kind of things where you're like you where like suddenly it starts. It's that kind of bizarre perspective shift that suddenly makes it look like it has, instead of like a solid sheen over the surface of it, it gives it dimension almost. And as you propel the ship forward, you find yourselves this strange, like almost vertigo-like sensation as most of you are used to it and don't even notice it. It just pulls you in through the conduit. Travel through conduits typically takes between, depending on how far you're going, between 1 and 10 minutes. So right now you're not going terribly far. I mean, it is far, but it's not like the farthest you could be going.
As far as conduit travel goes.
As far as conduit travel, it's probably only going to take you about 3 minutes of transit. So you kind of wait as you see just through the kind of streaking, warped bubble of space around you. You can distantly see just gas clouds and nebulae just sort of streaking past in the distance, stars zooming past, entire systems, and just
as we're going through, Bina's gonna be like, for transparency's sake, I used to live here, so higher than usual chance that someone's gonna recognize me. And she kind of looks over at Beach, like,
okay, that's good to know.
Which, I mean, that might have been shared at some point, but like a reminder.
Mm-hmm.
Do you need to stop by and get anything? I know you were kind of left suddenly.
Yeah, I mean, if we
Kidnapped.
have the time, there's someone who I think might be able to help us, and also there's something I want to pick up, if at all possible.
Well, a contact that you know would be a great place to start.
He used to work at the spaceport, but it didn't look like he is anymore, or I'm not sure. But if Awakener was there and he worked at the port, he would have managed the intake. So, if we can find him, maybe he can tell us more? I'm not sure.
At this point, the console begins beeping as you see that your destination is approaching, and you watch as space starts to manifest sort of more slowly around you, as you see very quickly and suddenly another conduit ahead of you, as you kind of come out, very suddenly come to sort of, it feels like you come to a full stop, but you just sort of ease out into real space, and proceed. Ahead of you, an enormous space station, sort of vaguely saucer-shaped, very like thick sort of saucer shape, with the several spires protruding from the top of it, in sort of the top center of it. As you make your way towards it, you can see just streams of traffic in and out. You can see ahead of you the queue that is making its way towards, like, sort of setting up for the conduit. And before long, you receive, as you reach the range of the conduit, or of the station, your computer receives the info, which you, having prepared it ahead of time, it just sort of automatically transmits. And you wait maybe a minute or two, and you suddenly hear the comm crackle, and you hear a voice just sort of come over the comm. Solar Flyer, you're cleared for landing. Docking pad 634B.
Thank you.
Yeah, Bina definitely would have looked at you like, this could be my coworker. Don't.
Yeah,
I'm not going to speak to them. So good.
All right.
And I will go, Doc. Is this my my cohort of docs,
no,
or is it a different one?
This is kind of a different part of the
area. It's a big
area.
dock,
Yeah.
but I was like, there's a chance if it was.
Yeah. So
Your old stomping grounds.
But yeah, so this is kind of this is like the B section of the starport. Bina would have been probably in the F section, I believe. So yeah, they're generally the area that has the larger or more like larger vehicles coming in, or some of them like more like corporate vessels, private luxury cruisers, those kinds of things, as well as the big cargo containers and those sorts of
The
things.
overhaul team liked having Bina on with them because she liked doing those jobs.
Yeah. So before long, you find yourselves touching down within the docking port, and as you're going through final landing checks, Jade goes through and says, "Okay, we're docked. We're here."
Okay, I need to find something to cover my face, I think. And she's gonna get up and go and like dig through her clothes and stuff and try to find something to wear that is going to. She's gonna do the 2-arm trick where she keeps her bottom arms wrapped around her middle and only has her top arm, so she looks like a 2-armed Orzai. And she's gonna find something with a hood or like a scarf or something just to make it less recognizable.
Yeah.
We still have our offuscation or whatever things from.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Not sure what happened there. It's me change, quick change.
Yeah, quick.
The illusion is universe is an illusion. It's all fake.
Yeah.
I'm not really in space.
What?
What?
You know.
Immersion ruined.
All right. So, you all make what your necessary preparations. Who's disembarking? Who's leaving?
Oh yeah. Okay.
I mean, I'm sort of, for the sake of this, I'm sort of assuming all of you are, but as
Yeah.
far as like the,
I think I'm gonna stay on the ship.
Yeah.
We're gonna
I've decided I'm
Chill.
not going to be in this episode, so
Good luck talking to everybody. I'm gonna
Yeah.
stay on board.
Who?
I think definitely having some people stay on the solar flyer is going to be good.
Not bringing Vix. He's staying on the
He's gonna,
ship.
yeah, maybe I'll stay. I also I'm trying to decide if it is more of a pro to have Ada Sprix come with us or stay and be home base in the ship. That's what I'm trying, because like she has a very good skill set that I am a huge fan of, and I don't know where it's more useful for us. So if anyone has, if Ada Sprix has an opinion on that too, but if Taeyeon or any of the other party.
I mean, I think Ada Sprix is the type of person who, if she wants to go, she'll go regardless of what Taeyeon says.
That's fair. That's fair. I was just trying to feel like what would be strategize.
Yeah. I think
what does Ada want to do?
my guess is I think Ada wants to go because she wants to see all the the old tech and like
Yeah.
Good. Okay. Fan. Awesome. Love it. That makes that decision for us. It'll be good to have her with us.
Yeah. So that basically, I think that leaves Jade, Sedona, Vix. Who am I missing? I feel like I'm missing somebody.
Oh, I can. Who's coming with us?
Yeah.
No, that's everyone.
Is it?
I think that's it.
Mason, Peach, Bina, Jade, Ada, Taeyeon, Sedona, Vix.
Okay.
All came with us.
Okay.
I was nervous because last time we left Sedona and Jade on a ship, it didn't go well, but Vix is there this time, so maybe it'll be okay.
He'll keep them in line.
Yeah, for sure.
You know. Yeah. All right. So, you find yourselves disembarking from the solar flyer onto Station 23's docking and into the star dock.
What temperature is it?
It's sort of it's colder than is strictly comfortable for human standards. Which means that for Taeyeon it's pretty chilly.
He's got his environmental suit. He's got his helmet and everything.
Yeah.
He's in the full chemist get-up right now.
Yeah. So it's just slightly colder than is comfortable. Bina would be aware that that's just the way things are on the dock on the dock itself, and then inside the station tends to be a little bit more controlled.
The dock is like huge.
Yeah, it is enormous.
This is the biggest. I mean, this is probably the biggest place they've been to. I mean, for sure it's 6 months because I'm sure the base is
easily
getting
within
cramped.
visual range right now.
Yeah.
Just stepping off the ship, there's hundreds of people within visual range.
I think stepping off. I think Bina has a moment of like, like space, big open space, and it's also a place I'm familiar with and comfortable with and spent a long time in, and also like, I think there's just a lot of things where she's just like, oh, like I think there's been another level of like unwind, just like a little bit.
Yeah.
I think.
But I do want to find a employee, a mechanic nearby, or just anyone who's in charge of. It looks like they're like this part of the dock master, and just see if I can grab someone, preferably someone who doesn't look familiar to me. It's been a while. I haven't been here a while. And I just want to grab their attention. And I have my weird disguise going on, my just a little bit of face obscuring and my 2-arm look going on. And excuse me. Hello.
You see the Keldro dock worker just turns around and says, "Oh, hello." He looks down at his terminal and says, "You just came in on the solar flyer."
Solar flyer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, welcome to
We're all
Station
good.
23.
Thank you. We're good. We're not here to make your shift any more busy. We're good. We're just docking. Question. A friend of mine used to work here. Trying to get in contact with him. I don't know if you Casimir, he's the Terran man, a little older.
He pulls up.
We were hoping to check him out. I haven't been back to 23 in a while.
Says, "Do you know which section he worked in?"
F, I think. He was my dock master, right?
Yeah. He kind of goes through. It says F.
If he's still around, I'd love to say hi before we pass through.
It looks like. Oh, hold on a second. He says. It looks like, Casimir has. Oh, I'm not sure how long it's been since you've been here, but Casimir doesn't work docks anymore. He's
Oh.
Yeah.
Would you know where to find him?
I'm sorry. I don't really have that kind of information.
That's understandable. There's a lot of people work here. Thank you very much. I hope you have a very nice day. And she's gonna just leave in the conversation and walk away.
He's just like,
it's just like, whew.
Bye. And he just goes back about his business.
Do any
He
of us
doesn't
hear
care.
that?
That's the least weird conversation I'll probably have today.
Do any
Yeah, I
of us
mean, if
hear
you guys
that?
were around, yeah, you could have heard it if you'd have
Okay.
liked to.
Okay, Mason
Okay.
will kind of. Does Mason know anything about this fellow?
I mean, Bina might have said that she knows someone, unless you think you would have asked her about it if she had mentioned that she knows someone who might be able to give us information. If you had
Yeah.
asked more, then she would have.
I think Mason would have pried because Mason would have said something along the lines of, sometimes looking for people was part of my job.
Yeah. So he, I was with him when I got grabbed, kind of. But he still worked here after, so I'm assuming he didn't get grabbed. But he's his name's Casimir. He's a Terran. Mechanic. He was one of my crew members here. Good friend of mine. One of the few people I spent a lot of time with. But yeah, clearly worked here until a bit ago. And I want to turn to Ada Sprix and be like, Ada Sprix.
Yeah.
Do you think you could find someone? If you could you follow their, like, if they've used credits recently? I don't know how far your skill set extends.
I mean, yeah, I could definitely do that. I need an access point though.
Okay. Would I have a terminal in my garage?
Probably not in your garage.
Okay.
But there are public terminals. Yeah, there are plenty.
Okay, let's go find a public terminal.
All right.
Yeah, we exit the port
All right.
for your help.
Oh, I love this. Looking for somebody.
Yeah. Mason's skill set.
Well, not quite, but yeah, sort of.
Well, it's
Can
his
make it.
career.
Yeah.
Plus his
Yeah, it was a
career.
career.
Yeah.
That Keldra didn't
Day
say.
job.
Did he say how long it had been? He
didn't.
Yeah. He didn't. Okay, I should have asked.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Um.
We're past it.
All right. So as you step out of, it takes you a second because the space dock is huge.
Yeah,
but
we got a ways to go.
Yeah, but it takes you a bit. But a few minutes of walking leads you out into the main sort of promenade of the city. And
Oh, Casimir wasn't my dock master. Tybalt was my
right,
dock master.
Tybalt, yeah.
Casimir was my shift lead,
Yeah.
shift head or something.
Yeah.
My bad. Oops, my bad. So many names. It's a while ago.
Yeah. So you step out into basically just probably the largest crowd that any of you have been in since Sulan. It is just bustling. There are people just sort of, it's like, think of like Times Square basically, like that kind of like crowded sort of situation like that. It's basically just people walking every which direction. Just because like immediately outside of the space dock is essentially the commercial center. So this is where you've got all the major like stores and basically what amounts to essentially like a shopping like a mall, like a strip mall basically, but like huge.
Sprawling.
Yeah, sprawling. Up above you can see as like up above and ahead of you, you can see where there are like towering buildings that rise up through kind of the center, going up through decks of the station. So up above you, you can see where there's sort of minor traffic, like interior traffic of like sort of more like ground vehicles, ones that are more in atmosphere vehicles. So like tons of the the hover cars just sort of flying overhead in their air lanes, as well as you can see buses, taxis, sort of those kinds of things, just sort of moving about up above you. Not too far away, you're able to find essentially what these are pretty common throughout the station. Just sort of banks of public terminals. They're kind of like what you'd expect to find in a cyber cafe, but they're just sort of around.
Yeah. Like an ATM. Like
yeah.
they're just there for people to use.
So Ada walks over to one, and she just sort of looks up at it and says, "Ooh, it's pretty old." She says, "Let me see." She like looks down, and sort of just with a quick gesture brings up her own like sort of holographic terminal.
Is it really? Would it stand out? Here?
It would, but she's kind of in between, like
obscuring. Okay,
yeah,
good. I was like, do we need to stand to
I can
obscure
stand.
this?
I'm pretty tall.
Yeah.
Do we need to beach towel this change? Really?
Taeyeon's like 5 foot, but he's like just covering it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're
Yeah, I'm just standing like looking to see if anybody's noticing us,
Yeah.
like blocking on one side.
Not at all.
this is a big city.
It's-
People don't pay attention
yeah,
to
not
each
at
other.
all.
But
It's very much that kind of
I
city
don't know.
thing.
We
where,
were infamous. Are our faces mostly forgotten now? Like
come
the
on,
news
nobody,
cycle is
nobody
kept
looks
going.
at anybody in the city.
Not at all.
Who does
this
that?
is this the biggest place we've been, or was 43
Yes.
larger?
No, 43 was very small. Was pretty small
Okay,
comparatively. No.
So yeah, well, this might be the biggest place we've been since.
Yeah.
So well, how big is Sulan? Is like an entire.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say it's of comparable size to Sulan.
Okay.
Maybe not quite as large as Sulan.
Maybe
but
Sulan
Sulan
feels
is a lot more spread
spreading
out.
because
Yeah.
it's yeah.
Sulan's a lot more spread out. This is all pretty.
Sorry,
like-
so many questions. I'm just excited about
Yeah.
being
I know. I want to know everything.
But yeah, no, you watch us. It does not take her very long, to just go through, and she says, in fact, probably just like maybe 2 or 3 minutes, and she's just like, "Oh, okay, got it." She says,
That was fast.
she goes,
You're good on that thing.
Sounds like that's actually like her probably her worst time.
yeah. She
Oh.
she turns back around and looks at you, and she kind of has you feel it before she looks at you, but you can feel that sort of like disappointment as she turns around, and she just says, "I'm so sorry. I don't think that there's any trace of him on the station, and there hasn't been for maybe," she says, she kind of looks at her own data and says, "probably about 3-4 months maybe."
When was Awakener here? When was that? I've already forgotten.
It was probably around the same time, but not quite. Like, it doesn't line up exactly, but it's like
Before or after?
before. That
He's gone
he was
before
gone before
Awakener
Awakener.
was
Yeah,
Oh shit. Okay.
yeah. She says, "I haven't seen a trace of him on. That's the last time I found any kind of transactions or any really any trail at all.
Anywhere or just on 23?
I just looked on the station, but
Okay. He could have gone home. No one's from here. Like, you come here. Like, no one's from. He could have left.
She shrugs and says, maybe we could check some of your old coworkers? I don't know.
I guess.
I mean, I don't know where else we might go unless there's some sort of place around where there might be somewhere to, I don't know, some sort of gathering place or something where people might, I don't know.
Yeah. Can I feed her some names of some people that I actually talked to? Like Casimir was like her one, like, this is my close confidant, but like she still like had people, like there are people who got her into racing and stuff, and like people she talked to regularly. Like, is there like anyone that she would consider trustworthy? Any unnamed NPCs, because we really only named a few.
We'll say as you go through and like kind of feed her names, she goes through some of them, goes through your old shift. There, of the list of people that you give her that like maybe you might like be okay with sort of interacting with, the one person that that she finds who is currently on the station and not on leave is an individual by the name of Destok Morvin. Destok. And Destok was Destok is a he is a Keldro, a lot slighter of build for being a Keldro, but which made him particularly good at getting into some of the smaller places. One of the things that he and Bina kind of shared, but yeah, he tended to be more of like an electronics specialist. So he tended to work with guidance and navigation systems, things like that, overhauling those. You had sort of like a not a friendship, but you were like a friendly acquaintanceship with him. So
is this someone who got me into racing, or is this just someone who is one of my shift mates?
This might have been somebody who like probably didn't get you into it, but like became aware of your thing through.
So knows. Okay.
So knows. Yeah.
Because I think we talked about like the reason she got into it, because some of her like her crewmates watched it and got her watching, and were like.
Destok probably actually came in after Bina did. So like
Cool. But is someone who I know well enough who knows about Bina.
Yeah.
Bina's racing. Okay.
Yeah.
That's significant.
Yeah.
Okay. And she'll kind of like point out and be like, okay.
So he's currently the only one of your like that. Not the only
old
one of your old crew, but the only one of your old crew that you might like want to reach out to and trust, maybe, who is currently on shift. Everybody else is either off shift, not on the station, or on leave somewhere.
Okay. Well, Destok, I mean, we are friendly, but that makes it a little, I guess, out of our hands whether or not, we know him, but like, I don't know him as well as Casimir. So that's an option. Otherwise, I guess, if we have Ada here, if we have Ada Sprix here, maybe you can look into some feeds from when we heard Wakener was here? Because we have a timeline, right, from when it was here?
Yeah, she says, I can definitely try to run some scans, see if pick up any kind of low-level chatter, anything that anybody might be saying. That just the thing that's going to be difficult about it is that it's not a ship that's significant to many people, so I'm not sure. We'll see what I can pick up.
So Destok is an option. We can try to find my garage, which is something I would like to do, but it's not mandatory. This is the last known location. What was that?
Should we go there next?
We can. If we don't have if there's nothing else we want to look at, I feel like that should be low priority.
Yeah, maybe talking to your friend.
Yeah, should we go find Destok and?
He's working right now, or he's just still like an employee. Okay, so I could easily find him.
And do you think we should all make ourselves known, or just you should talk with him, Bina?
I mean, maybe just me. What do I know about him as a person? Like, is he like a skittish type? Is he gonna be freaked out if like a big group of people corner him and start asking weird questions?
I mean, it might weird him out. It might be. He's not necessarily skittish, but he is easily overwhelmed. And
okay.
like.
So Bina was probably a lot for him, a little much for him, but understand. But clearly, there's enough of a rapport.
Yeah. So
getting to know her might have been a little bit of a learning curve.
Yeah.
Mason's already kind of looking at his terminal for like a nearby watering place to get a drink.
Mm-hmm. Oh, there's like 6 within like just a minute's walk from where you are. Mm-hmm. So
if someone wants to come with me, and then everyone else wait nearby.
I mean, I can come with.
Okay.
They quite literally do not know my face.
That's fair.
I could come by nearby just in case he's
we're going
not
back.
in case he's not so friendly.
We're going back into the port. So like, you know, if you guys want to come back into the dock with us, because I think like that's a little more conspicuous, like hanging out in like a garage than hanging out at like a park bench.
Yeah.
So you might want to wait like just outside, and we'll go for a walk.
So of the places that Mason finds, there are a couple like, just like in here on Earth, there are places that like taverns or restaurants that are like dockside taverns and restaurants. That there's similar things here. Like there are at least 2 of the ones that you found, Mason, are like directly have windows looking over into the Stardock.
I'm like dreaming about being in an airport.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what we're doing.
Yeah, and oh god, didn't even think about that. But yeah, and like one of them seems to be sort of like a sort of higher end, kind of not higher end, but like a nice-ish restaurant. The other one is more of like it's basically the space equivalent of the fisherman's rest kind of place, you know, where there's like, it's sort of more of like a hole in the wall kind of bar.
I'll be in there.
All right, who's going where? So Mason's going to the bar.
I'm.
Muted myself. Sorry. You can go for it.
I'm going to tag along with Bina and Taeyeon if they're both going.
Okay, sounds good. Ada looks at you, Mason. She says, "I guess I'll tag along with you. I mean, it'll be easier for me to, you know, look through information if I'm stationary. Walking around and doing it is hard."
Well, I'll be very stationary where we're going.
Great, sounds perfect.
Have fun, Mason.
Not too much.
Try to learn something.
Ooh, they have like the number 4 special. If it's still there, it's one of my favorites. I went to lunch there a lot, and they'll as they're parting ways.
Mason's nods.
All right.
Like something crunchy and deep fried.
So, Mason, you and Ada sort of split off as you make your way to this tavern. It takes you a minute to figure out how to get there because it's not like on the same level that you currently are. You have to like go up a couple of lifts, like to just like get up onto the right level of the promenade where you find it. One of the walkways that is up above the entrance to the port. Just sort of off of that, you find your way in, and it's a nice place. It's comfortable, but it definitely has that sort of seedy, like vaguely seedy feel, right? Of like, you can look around at all the people in here and see that they are either mechanics or they are like pilots of like pilots or crew of shipping liners. These are like real like working class kind of
freighter
people.
Fuckers, like you gotta like,
you've got some like real rough looking dudes who are just like in the corner, like this, like there's one woman in particular who like has full sleeve tattoos of like spacers tattoos and things like that. Just
Sick.
Sort of like sitting in the corner with just like a huge tankard.
Welcome to Bina's home.
Yeah.
So much.
Yeah, there's
Like, Bina comes from here? It's like the exact opposite of what's going on.
She works
I
here
can just
she lived
imagine
here for a while.
It's like holographic version of pool, like people
Yep.
like smoking.
Yeah.
Probably noticing the
It's
the
very
general atmosphere.
it's very dive bar meets fisherman's haunt kind of place.
Yes.
It's-
I'm
God.
just gonna
I love it.
The
fall
number
into
4.
the stride of this place
Mhm.
a little bit and just kind of pull out a smoke and kind of lean up against the table and make eye contact with the bartender.
Mhm. Bartender glances over and just sort of nods to you. Doesn't say a word, just nods, and is now like makes eye contact with you and nods.
2 shots of the Keldro Bruiser, please.
And he goes over, and Ada goes, "Oh, I don't really drink, but."
And a water.
A space Shirley Temple.
Yeah, he he goes over, fills up drinks, brings them by over, and pulls up the holographic checkout interface basically.
And Mason takes the shot and says, 1 more.
Yeah.
And then signs.
Yeah, and brings that to you. Ada just sort of both hands on the cup, just sort of looking around.
I love this. It's been so long since we've been places.
I know.
It really has.
Yeah.
The wilderness.
So long. I'm so excited to be here.
Yeah. Freeman, I'm gonna have you make a perception.
Good.
Yes.
Oh wait, where'd my dice go?
So
Perception.
yeah.
I need perception to find my dice.
hopefully Mason's
All right.
perception is better than Freeman's right now.
Yes.
This is gonna be an intellect task. The difficulty is going to be 2. Actually, no, it's gonna be 3. It is gonna be 3 because it's a little rowdy in here right now.
I love it. I'm trained in perception.
Okay.
I'll use that.
Cool.
Can I? Is there anything that is it something that is disguised or is
No.
being deceptive?
Nope.
Okay. No, I think I'm gonna use my perception skill.
Okay.
for this.
So
I think that's
just
and I'll
just
spend a
dropping it
little
down. Oh, sorry.
And I'll spend some intellect too. No, it's okay.
Okay.
I'll spend a little intellect.
All
I'll
right.
spend
1 level of
it
effort.
down to- Yep.
Okay, cool. So you're down to a difficulty 1, so you just need a 3 or better.
Oh gosh. It's so hard to.
Okay, it's not like you're gonna roll a 2 like I did. So.
Oh,
I mean-
it fell on the floor.
Knock on wood.
though. Okay, I got it. 10.
Heck yeah. All right. So
Hell yeah, best roll all night.
it really is.
It actually has been. Oh no.
It's going well. So yeah, as you're sitting there, you sort of slip into your habits. You just sort of start casing everything, looking around, seeing who's who, assessing, and just sort of looking around. And as you're looking around, Ada is just sort of sitting with her water, just sort of on her terminal. She has been outfitted with an era appropriate one for use in public, so she is using that. And you can hear her every once in a while just sort of complaining under her breath, just it's so slow.
CPU is awful on this thing, and upload and download speed.
It's like, are you kidding me? That's how much storage space. Oh gosh, and just yeah.
Any of us trying to use a computer from the 90s or something is what
Yeah.
it is
Hard
dealing
drive
with
space
right now.
measured in megabytes. All right.
Keeps turning the flashlight on.
Yeah. So, but as you're looking around, you kind of glance over where you can see just sort of a group of people, huddled around. There's a human man kind of at the center of attention, he's probably in his 50s, maybe 60s, just big, scraggly beard, weathered skin, kind of wild-looking eyes, as he seems to be telling a tale to everybody around him. And you can see even now that nobody's really taking what he's saying seriously. You can see a few of them just exchange knowing looks and just rolling their eyes and just kind of still grinning, kind of smirking a little bit at him. But you manage. Really interests you is that you catch some of his stories. He's saying, "No, I see what you're saying, but look. I see your faces right now, but I'm telling you, it was a ghost ship. I saw it. I heard it. I heard its siren call. Somewhere it's still out there, and I don't know what happened, but I don't know where it's going or where it came from, but I'll tell you right now, I've never felt the hair on my arms stand up like I did that day."
Okay.
And that, I think, is where we're going to take our break.
I
Oh
love
god,
it.
so many questions. I
Ooh,
love this
on
guy
the
already.
ghost
Can we
side.
It's already
can we
been-
adopt him? Can we?
Yeah, he's ours now. We're gonna take him with us.
Oh, do you guys want me to go over there?
You're good.
I mean, it's up to you.
All right. Well, we're gonna take our break. We're going to take about 10 minutes or so. We're gonna get up, walk around, get some water, go to the bathroom. You know, all that stuff. So we will see you here in about 10 minutes or so. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back, everybody.
What?
I don't.
Listen, I am not Matt Mercer. I will break. I will break. Especially because I
know what
wasn't.
you're talking about.
I wasn't expecting it. Yeah, no, nobody knows what I'm talking about. Hi, everybody. We're back from our break.
Hi, welcome back.
When we left off, when we left off, the crew had just arrived at Station 23, Bina's home for the several years prior to the beginning of Infinite Horizon. Mason and Ada Sprix had stepped aside to go to sort of a hole-in-the-wall tavern kind of place that overlooks the Star Dock, while Bina, Peach, and Taeon went off to find an old associate of Bina's to ask some questions. So we'll come back in with Mason as you sitting kind of at the bar next to Ada. Overhear an older human man, clearly a spacer of some kind, or something, talking about telling a story to the other patrons about a ghost ship or something of the like, which is met with much skepticism and derision from those around him. So as you're standing there, he's clearly kind of come to the end of his story, and the others are sort of like mocking him and or sort of dispersing at this point. And he's just sort of shaking his head. In spite of that, somebody seems to have to have bought him a drink for his story, but he's so he's just kind of sitting kind of contentedly sipping at his big tankard that was put in front of him. As the crowd around him sort of starts to disperse, or at least the attention of the crowd starts to shift a little bit as somebody else starts talking and telling a story about one of their long haul cargo jobs.
Well, Mason will take his other 2 shots and then order up another.
All right.
And kind of check in. How are things going here?
Are you talking to Ada?
Oh yeah.
She's just sort of looking, frowning, just sort of. I mean, it would go a lot faster if I could use my terminal, but it's going well, if slowly. Yeah. I'm not coming up with anything yet. I haven't found anything useful just yet, but like I said, I don't know if we're gonna find anything this way. I mean, Awakener is significant to us because we're looking for it and we know about it, but to most people, it's just another ship.
Kind of like a ghost.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I suppose. What? She goes back to the terminal and just keeps kind of like flicking, like fingers just sort of flying over the display as she's just sort of rushing through just screen after screen. You're honestly not sure how she's reading any of it or parsing any of it, as she's just sort of like flicking quickly through it, just dismissing images as they come up, windows and stuff like that.
Well, if you need any help.
I think I mostly have this handled. Let's hope that everybody else can come up with something useful, because this might take us a while, longer than we have, I think.
Well, pardon me for a second. I'm gonna talk to that gentleman over there.
She glances over and says, "Okay, I'll be here," and she looks over. Just sort of looks around, goes back to her terminal.
I'm gonna walk. As I'm walking, are there any significant tattoos?
On the guy.
Mm-hmm.
Not that you can see. He's got like full sleeves on his jumpsuit. Like he's wearing what looks like some sort of technician's jumpsuit. That he currently has like sort of fully rolled down, so you don't notice any obvious tattoos.
All right. I'll pull up a seat.
He sort of takes a drink, looks over at you, says, "Welcome. Don't think I've seen you in here before."
Passing through.
You and half the galaxy.
Yeah, I have lots of planets like that. I couldn't help but hear your story and was pretty intrigued, actually.
Well, the others don't seem to. Well, they're interested, but they think it's bullshit.
Yeah, well, saying things like ghosts and ships doesn't quite track with people.
He he kind of hesitates, just sort of looks at you for a moment, sets down his tankard, and just sort of leans in towards you and says, "You believe in ghosts?"
Yeah, I see them sometimes.
Well, if you really want to know the story, he kind of glances around, looks around at the room around. You can see that there's a few people. One of the people nearby who was gathered as part of the crowd before just sort of looks over. He says, "Don't waste your time. He's full of it." And he says, "You get a better story almost anywhere else on the space dock." And he kind of looks over. He says, "You shut your mouth. This isn't about you."
Oh, I'm all ears.
He kind of he nods to you and just, "Well, it all started a few months ago when I was on shift. I'm a technician for the traffic control. See a lot of weird stuff in my work. Mostly it turns out to be smugglers, pirates trying to hide their identity, find prey amongst the outgoing transports. But this one was different. I was on my shift late in the cycle, and all of a sudden, this beautiful ship jumps out of nowhere. I hadn't seen her before, but she didn't come through one of the conduits. She didn't come through the conduit, so I was interested. Not really many places within easy range, so I figured she must have been traveling quite a ways. So I reached out, because, the late cycle shifts get pretty lonely sometimes. You just get to wanting to hear another being's voice. So I reached out, and what I got back chilled me to the bone. No response on the voice channels, just a garbled message. The kind that usually you only see from conduits and the like, that only shipboard navigation can parse. But this was something else. There were words in there. I brought it up and started looking at it, and I started to see that some of the words were random. There were some letters that were garbled and rearranged in strange ways, but the same phrases kept popping up over and over again. I've lost the light. I need to find my light. I tried reaching back to see if there was anything else out there. I even tried responding in text. But there was no response but those same words repeated over and over again. And suddenly, without any other interaction, nothing else strange, without even making any kind of move to come towards the station, the conduit opened, and she disappeared through it forever, never to be seen here again.
So as he's telling this story, he's kind of okay. So is he any of this? He's making a show, but is any of it true? Is he really telling me this like something he's experienced?
I'm gonna have you make a roll.
Yeah, hold on. I'm sorry. I'm just looking. I know that the detective solves mystery. Have the thing where
Yeah, this is a difficulty 2 intellect task, so it's yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna see if he's deceptive, or he's any kind of lie
Sure.
or anything.
So
okay.
yeah, difficulty 2. Anything you got that can help with this?
It's I can see through, or is that guarded? Guarded, I think I can see through someone's lies
Okay.
or disguise. In this case, is he like just giving me a story because
Right.
kind of thing, or is this something genuine?
Yeah.
Like he really did see.
And so
this?
that's a training in that, right? I believe that's what it Okay, cool. So it's down to a difficulty 1 now. So
Okay. 14.
okay. There's definitely embellishment to his story, but the core of it, at least he believes it's absolutely true.
That is, that is quite the story. I needed, like Mason, third shot down, asks for another.
He starts to kind of get the impression that you're a little bit more interested in his story, and like he seems to be getting the impression that you're taking him a lot more seriously than anybody else seems to. So naturally, you can see he gets a little bit more animated and just kind of, he's like, if you're interested, says, I did keep some of my logs from that night. I copied some of them. Says, there's too interesting to let it go, so I figured I'd take a look, see if anything came to me later on. The mystery that still haunts me.
Another fellow who likes to take notes. I appreciate you.
If you're interested, he says, I can give you a copy.
That would be... yes, I am interested.
He looks down, he says, you're only the second person to show any real actual interest in this. Since it happened. He kind of, you see as he pulling through the terminal, as he like pulls up his terminal and starts sort of pulling up files.
Who else would?
Says, not sure of the fellow's name. I'd seen him before a few times around the space dock. Seems like one of those scrappers, They go out, find derelicts, and take them apart, sell them.
Okay.
He kind of goes through and says, here it is, and he just sort of swipes it over towards, and you see the acknowledgement on your terminal of receipt. He says, now I don't recommend taking a look at that stuff by yourself. It can be disturbing, chilling to those of discerning mind.
My old line of work, that was to be expected.
I get that sense about you. A man of mystery, for whom the answers are always an end in and of themselves. Much like yours truly.
Cheers.
Well, I best be getting back on shift. He kind of glances around and says, as much as I love them, stories aren't going to pay the bills. And he stands up, sort of cracks his shoulders a bit, and he says, fair travels to you, friend.
And to you as well.
And he just sort of taps the holographic display on the table, pays his tab, and then exits.
I go. I stand up and I head over to Ada, and I sit down and I order another one.
She looks up and says, "Well, I still haven't found anything. So, how'd your conversation go?"
um, I have some information that perhaps you'd like to see.
Really? Well,
Maybe.
at this point, I'm tired of looking at all this, so I'll take whatever you got.
And I would like to transfer to as well.
Yeah, she takes it and starts going over it. And as the two of you sit there, and she starts looking over some of the information you just received, we're gonna cut back over to the other three.
Oh boy.
No, I could have listened to that conversation
so
for
good.
3 more
Honestly,
hours.
I love that guy.
I could have
so
just
much.
sat
Me too.
there and just.
I loved it.
All right.
But okay.
So,
I'm assuming we found Desktop's like shipping like his platform number where
Yeah.
he works.
yeah.
Mhm.
It's easy enough to find as you kind of make your way through the familiar familiar port. You walk over towards the basically like where you used to go, like like the man, I'm blanking on the word, but essentially where you would do like prep for whenever your shift was on, your storage and stuff like that, where everybody kind of keeps their stuff, the main office essentially. You step over there and there's someone that you don't recognize sitting at the desk, and she looks up and she goes, "Oh, hi, can I help you? This is
Yes. Hi. I'm looking for a friend of mine. Desktop Marvin. I think he's on shift right now. I was wondering if I could have a word with him if he isn't too busy.
She looks down at her thing. She says, "Actually, that's pretty good timing. He just went on break. He is." Oh, she like points out the window of the office to where you can see a familiar-looking figure just sort of stepping away from one of the ships, kind of removing sort of work gloves and setting them on one of the big like tool tables, and sort of looking around. Unzips the jumpsuit partially and just starts looking around. Says, "That's him right over there."
Thank you. And then she's gonna lead you guys back out. We're gonna go
Yeah.
get his attention.
Um,
Someone I have not talked to in months.
Yeah, you see as he's sort of like rolling down, like peeling his arms out of the jumpsuit, and he kind of like tying it around his waist. He kind of looks around, sees you, and it's like he's looking at you, but he's like not seeing you. And then recognition hits. He goes, "Bina." He kind of looks around. Says,
It's loud here, I'm assuming.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, you can hear.
Hi.
Says, What are you? Where did you? Who the?
Yeah, lots of things. I will answer lots of questions for you. How would you feel about getting a coffee or something on your break, real quick? I maybe feel like maybe you can help us if you are interested in helping us.
I guess. He looks around and says, like calls over to somebody. Says, "I'm taking my break out." All right. And he kind of walks along with you.
Yeah, we'll just like
You
go
can,
for a walk.
you can
basically.
feel he's just like bursting with like questions. Like you can feel that like curiosity.
So
and
she'll just say, "Okay, you can have one first. What?
This-
One question first. What do you want to know?"
Oh, that's a lot of pressure.
I know. You can ask more later. Just pick one. And whereas we're walking, and she's
Where-
gonna keep her like,
Where have you been?
"Oh boy, that's the big one. Everywhere. A lot of places. Not here.
No, okay.
Let's see. How can I, so I got kidnapped.
Yeah.
And so I've been a lot of places. And she's gonna walk out of the building.
Okay.
And we're gonna go.
Are Tan? Did we decide? Are we following?
Yeah, you guys
or
are with me.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
we're
Just
okay,
with
can
you,
I
we
remember-
just
yeah.
we just
yeah.
haven't like okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's up to you guys if you want to trail or if you want to be like fully involved in this interaction. It's up to you.
I think we'd probably be involved, right?
Okay,
I
cool.
mean,
Yeah, I think we
'cause
were out
it,
there.
yeah,
Yeah.
I mean,
He looks at you guys and just goes, "Hi, I'm Destuck.
Peach Tan.
Hi.
nice to meet you.
Yeah. You
Heard great
Heard some-
things on the walk here.
okay? Okay, so what's happening? And you eventually like you find yourselves
Yeah.
at like a little like kind of coffee shop, like more like a kiosk kind of thing that's like right outside the
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
spaceport. Yeah.
hmm Okay. Lots of things are happening, and I think maybe
Yeah, no,
you might be able to
I've
help us.
seen. Wait,
Yeah.
I saw, and you're.
hmm
Oh, okay,
hmm
okay.
Yeah. First of all, not true.
Well, I mean, I
Being
didn't
framed.
really think it
That's fun.
was, or at least
That's
he
good.
kind of looked. He says, or at least maybe thought you got caught up with the wrong people, and he like his eyes sort of flicked to Peach, and then he just sort of.
Hi.
No offense. I mean, I just I.
It's okay.
No. Definitely. Being framed because someone doesn't like us, so that's great. A lot of things have happened, but we're looking for a ship. A friend of ours got taken away from us, and we have reason to believe that it came through here. And I don't know if you would even remember if you saw it, but what was the time frame 3 months
Yeah,
ago?
it was like about 3 months ago.
So I want to give the approximates like star dates, and then describe what Awakener looked like. Did we get footage or did we just get data that
Just
it was
data.
here?
Yeah.
So I'll describe what Awakener looked like the last time we saw it.
He's
And it would have like
yeah.
that we, and I'll even describe Alma and
Yeah, you see.
maybe not, and Jade. Why not? I'll describe Jade just in case he kept that form.
You see as he like sort of immediately goes into like kind of like problem solving mode, which you've seen him do this many times during overhauls. He's just kind of going through and like parsing like the information you're giving him. He's like, yeah, okay. I mean, it doesn't.
And I can give, if I can even give, like, not that he would be able to like recall number. Maybe he's a numbers guy. I don't know, but like the registration shit from Awakener, just like any info I have that like would maybe help him recall.
He kind of shakes his head. He says, I mean, it doesn't sound familiar to me, but I mean, if she came through here, I mean, it could have been any number of sections. Might not even been through F. So.
Yeah, that was my worry. I mean, I was gonna talk to Casimir, but have you talked to Casimir recently? This guy's on my team, right? That's okay.
Goes,
Where's Casimir?
Casimir hasn't worked here for 4 months, maybe. Not sure. A while.
That's what we were told.
Yeah.
Did he say why? Is he home? Did he just?
He I haven't heard from him since he stopped working here, but he was different after you disappeared. I don't know.
Yeah, he was with me when.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. He was right.
Huh.
No.
What did he say?
No, just I mean, he was obsessed with it for months. Just the fact that you'd just gone missing. I mean, he knew he didn't remember any of it, anything that happened. He just remembered that you were with him when you left shift, and
I went with him to help. We were part picking. I was gonna help him fix up his bike.
Yeah,
we got grabbed. And he wasn't there when I woke up, so I hoped that he was still here, but.
Wow, he was never able to put the pieces fully together. Although, I mean, he wasn't really himself, but mostly because I could tell he was obsessed with figuring this out. I mean, as soon as he realized that he had missing time, he became obsessed. But, now that I think about it, that last month that he was here, he changed again. Seemed not calm exactly, but and he didn't seem obsessed. He didn't really talk about it anymore. Said something about, when I asked him about it, said something about found some answers that maybe put things to rest. I don't know. I didn't really think much of it at the time. I figured, it's good. He's past his obsession. Maybe we'll get the old Casimir back. But then a couple weeks later, he just he tendered his resignation, and haven't heard from him since.
Well, at least he resigned on purpose. I was worried. I don't know.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, I was here. I was on shift on his last day, so.
Well, now that's another thing I gotta worry about. If he's gone because of me, then that's oh boy.
Has anybody heard from Casimir since he's left?
I don't really talk about it. I mean, a few people mention him now and then, but I don't think anybody's actually heard from him. Yeah. That is kind of weird now that I think about it.
Where are you?
I don't know.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
I'm
well,
sorry.
I'll
I
have
wish
to
I
keep
wish I
that.
could be more help.
That's okay. It's good to know. I mean, whatever Casimir found might be something that we need to know about, anyways.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you find him, uh, let him know that I still owe him for those beers he got me a while back.
I'll let him know. Congrats on the promotion, by the way. We saw that in the
Yeah,
registry.
yeah. It's great. They don't ever have me. I get to choose my shifts now, so.
Nice.
And they don't ever have me crawling around in intakes, so not anymore. So.
Yeah, nice. Good for you. Okay, I've asked you a lot of questions. What do you want to know?
Oh. Okay. Well. What happened to you? I mean, you said you got kidnapped? I mean,
Yeah, not fun.
I mean, I don't even know where to start, really.
Steer clear of Silver Break. Don't sign up for those test trials of whatever there was a word for those trials that
Yeah,
people were
they're
purposefully
yeah.
getting into. Don't do that.
Huh.
Um,
Wait, is this a corp thing? Like, did you get in trouble?
oh yeah, definitely.
You got in trouble with the corpse?
They made trouble with me. I didn't do anything. I just looked really close at a ship, and then they decided that I had seen too much, and yeah.
Oh. Huh.
You're all probably remembering at this point, Bina doesn't really lie
Yeah,
well.
he goes,
Bina
Yeah.
does not do lying.
He goes,
I know. How is he taking this? What's it like?
Everyone is just like watching everything
Yeah.
as well as staring at his
he
reaction.
is taking this surprisingly well.
Okay.
But you're gathering, as you're talking to this guy, this is not a scholar by any stretch. Like he is not, like he seems like he like this to him is not something that is like striking him as particularly like fantastical or anything like that. He's just kind of like taking it like, yeah, sure. You
Yeah.
know?
Okay.
Sure, yeah. You probably there's also a hint of like this is someone who knows Bina, and as people who also know Bina, who knows how she engages with people, is like she doesn't bullshit,
Yeah.
and so he's probably like, yeah, I mean, what Bina says it, yeah, I mean.
He goes, no, now you said you looked something about looking closely at a ship. Tybalt also resigned, but I never saw him. And last I heard, he was looking into something about some ship
When
that was
did
here.
Tybalt resign?
Oh, it was actually not that long after you went missing.
Did he see something?
Well, now maybe
Wait.
I think he might have.
Where was he working?
Here, Doc F.
Doc F.
He was my dock master.
Yeah, I mean, he started asking questions about a strange ship.
The camo, it had camo tech on it, which is why I was looking at it.
Oh, well, yeah. Huh. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we all thought it was kind of weird, but nobody really liked Tybalt all that much, so nobody really looked into it. But
Yeah, it was. Tybalt was working. It was just this bland ship that looked too bland. Like too clean. And I got up close to it and it was cloaked. Or it was camo-teched.
yeah, I mean, I don't know more than that. I mean, that's all I got, really.
He must have seen something. But he resigned. He didn't disappear like me, right?
He did resign, but not in person, as far as I know.
Oh boy. Well, they clearly don't. I mean, did I resign? Like, was there a letter
No,
of resignation
you
for me?
were.
I just didn't show up to work,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So why do that with one and not another? So maybe he did it on purpose.
I don't know. This is this is way above me. I don't know what you've gotten yourself into, but it sounds like a time.
That's definitely a way to put it. Well, I guess we can add both of them to list of people we can hopefully find.
Yeah. You know, I don't know if it's relevant,
Might be.
but I mean, not about Casimir. I don't know, but about your ship. I did hear some scrappers maybe a month or two. No, hold on. No, this was just a couple weeks ago. Yeah, they were in here and they were talking about. I mean, I overheard them talking to the other crew about a job that they'd heard about, some sort of maybe like possibly a derelict that's maybe still active, ghost ship, something that they were going after.
Ghost ship.
I can. Let's see. I mean, I'm not really supposed to, but I could maybe get you some details on them.
I mean, anything's useful at this point. I think all of our leads are dead in the
yeah,
water.
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, I can see what I can get you. I mean, Drina in the office owes me a favor, so.
Try not to
Well, you
mention.
won.
Try not to mention who it's for. If
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. No. Obviously.
We're on a couple of shit lists right now. Not gonna lie.
Yeah. I mean, I got that. You were all over the news for a while.
When's the
Yeah.
last time you saw any of that here?
About. I don't really know. It was a while ago. 5 months, maybe 6 months.
All right. Yeah.
It's been a while. I don't. I mean. Yeah. I'm gonna be needed back on shift, but so if you want that, I can get it for you right now before I go back.
Yeah.
Right. Why don't you wait here? I'll just go in and.
Okay.
Yeah. He stands
Thanks,
up.
buddy.
He says, "It's kind of like some spy stuff. It's
Yeah.
kind of cool." And he goes. He
Very
goes
cool.
back.
Cool.
Bina goes, I think that went well.
Yeah, he
Well,
seems nice.
Well,
What's
are
fine for
we
what?
sure are you sure it's okay that you told him like quite pretty much everything?
Yeah. How trustworthy do you think this person is, Bina?
Yeah.
Pretty much. I mean, I didn't know a lot of people.
Yeah.
And so anyone who knew me knows enough to know that I'm cool. I think. And he knows some other stuff about me that he knows not to share, so I would assume that he would put this under that umbrella if I asked him to.
Well, as long as he agrees not to tell anyone he saw us, it's good with me.
We got a lot of info, which is
Yeah.
good.
I just think
How helpful it is, I don't know, but
I think before we leave, I'll ask Ada if they can do it, but probably should scrub any footage of us
oh yeah,
here
absolutely.
because the corpse don't play very nice, and I'm sure your friend is great, but I think
that's a good call.
poking and prodding with the right tools on the right place will probably get him to talk.
Yeah.
If they knew that he talked to you.
Well, he didn't get any information about what we're doing, so everything that has happened, and if he knows that, I don't think it changes anything.
And he just knows that we're going after Awakener, which they probably assume already. So,
but getting him off of Silverbreak's radar would probably be a good call.
Yeah.
Can I send that request to Ada?
Yeah.
I think Taeyeon's probably like literally doing it as
Okay, good.
he's talking. It's like
I feel like that's probably also Ada protocol. Like Ada's Bricks is she knows what she's doing.
She responds immediately with nothing more than just smiley face. That's it. Just
good.
And it's like a custom smiley face. It's an Ada Sprix.
Yeah, it is literally just like a small 8-bit pixel.
Yeah.
Ada just.
Yeah. Ada emoji.
Uh-huh, yeah. Oh God, are we gonna have to make that now?
yeah, definitely.
An aid emote. An aid emote.
Aid emoji.
All right. A few minutes later, Destic comes back, and he says, "Okay, yeah, I got what you needed. But you did not get this from us, so
No, and you never gave it to me.
nope." And he just sort of pulls up his terminal, kind of swipes over the data to you.
I confirm, and then I reassure him. Don't worry, we have someone who will make sure that no one knows we even talked. Just keep your head down.
You can suddenly feel like a like alarm coming from him as he like
Yeah.
clearly had not considered that possibility. And
Bina's gonna do a little bit of a, I think it takes a false start, and then she gets it, but like a soothing.
yeah,
You're
A
good.
wave of
We've got
soothing.
you.
yeah. He goes, "Oh yeah, no, that's a good idea. I didn't even think of that. That's yeah. Wow, you really are into this kind of spy stuff, aren't you? Into this,
And
Unfortunately.
if you hear of anyone else going missing,
yeah,
send us their name.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'll do that. Hey,
And
yeah.
oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say I gotta get back, but
Okay. Well,
Good luck. Thanks, Destok.
thanks for your help, and you never saw us.
no,
It was good to not see you.
yeah. Take,
Nice to not meet you.
yeah. You too.
It was not a pleasure. Am I doing this right?
Sure. He says, "Hey, you look after yourself, okay?"
You too.
And he turns and starts like hands in his in the pockets of his jumpsuit. He walks back into the space dock.
I'm gonna start pulling up, which I'm sure she doesn't need, but she's gonna pull up directions to the garage, to her garage.
Okay. At this point, we'll cut back over to Ada and Mason. The bar has sort of emptied out a little bit while you've been sitting here. Eventually, you were able to relocate to sort of a corner table as one became available, and Ada is actually able to, now that you're sort of not directly in the view of everyone around, is sort of able to use her own equipment, and things go a little faster once that happens. She goes through and is sharing kind of the data that she's uncovering with you, Mason.
Cool. I'm also looking.
Yeah. A lot of the data that was shared with you by this traffic controller, it confirms a lot of his story. There was a ship that certainly jumped into the vicinity of the station. Communications to the ship were attempted and largely ignored. Only text-based messages were resent. And it seems like just sort of it is a garbled mess, and within that you actually catch the message that this guy was talking about. The words that repeat many times over throughout the message. I've lost the light. I need to find my light. Along with many of the garbled symbols that you see, that you are used to seeing from conduits. It's basically sort of nicknamed conduit speak. But sort of looking through that, most interestingly, as you are looking through this, you actually get some of the data for a heading through the conduit. So it looks like some of the data was received by the station of which conduit it made for.
Ooh. And is that which one?
It is a conduit that is it is on the edge of ascendancy space. It is a conduit that is basically one that is trafficked mostly for like the fringe regions of ascendancy space, and the border worlds kind of in that region. So not quite back the direction you came, a little bit more towards like the out kind of more rimwards in the galaxy.
Huh. Interesting.
The other thing that you can tell, you can also the information that gets uncovered here, information about the vague direction that Awakener came from, and it's just like the guy said. Awakener jumped in from, or this ship at least. It's becoming pretty clear that what you're looking for is Awakener. Just from what you're seeing as far as like some of the sensor data, it matches a lot of the kind of dummy registration that you put on there. Like that was picked up, and so it is very clearly Awakener that you're seeing. It seems to be coming from the direction of assuming that you chart the trajectory in a linear path, was definitely coming from the direction of a conduit that is most often used to traverse either deep within the Commonwealth or into corporate space.
Goodness. This is good. This is something.
Ada looks and she says, I mean, it's more than I was going to come up with on my own. She says, honestly, I could probably spend months here and never get anywhere close to what we just got.
But a good story is a good story.
Apparently.
I feel like we should get this information to the rest of the group.
Yeah. Let me, and she just takes the rest of her water, just throws it back, and just, okay, I'm ready.
I'm ready. Mason stands up and, with really surprisingly, is absolutely stone sober and just kind of walks.
Yeah, your body having fully adapted to the alcohol that you just consumed, processing it as it would anything else. You and Ada make your way out of the bar.
Bartender's like, I swear.
He's like,
wow, crazy world.
Should I pick him up? Should I?
You know what?
I can't tell.
So can Mason get drunk? Like, or is it do you have to choose to get drunk?
I feel like Mason.
That sounds awful.
I feel like Mason's probably close. If I'm not mistaken, it's probably closer to like also again Captain America or Wolverine in a sense.
Mm-hmm.
Or Deadpool.
It probably takes a while, but then his body just like once he does have one, then his body takes care of the business. Also the Flash.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a lot of heroes as well.
Yeah.
A lot of heroes just don't really get drunk.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we'll have to make a special Mason.
Okay.
A lot of green rations.
We actually did that for the D&D campaign I was in because you Monte are like immune to poison, and we're like, I mean, alcohol's technically a poison, right?
Yeah.
So you're like, yeah, now I have to make a whole specific alcohol for you, Monte.
Oh my god.
That's sick.
That's cool.
All right. So
I love that.
I think do you guys?
We try to meet.
Yeah,
up
you're gonna
with
try to
them.
meet
Yeah,
up.
we're
Okay.
probably walking on our way there.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll probably give him like a pin drop, like, "Hey, we're headed here. Be there
Sure.
by."
We'll say that it takes you about the same amount of time to reach the warehouses. And so you meet up just sort of at the entrance to the warehouses. As you go, Ada is just sort of like spouting out all of just blurting out like the excitement of like the information that she and Mason found, and
Bina be babbling back and
yeah.
forth with her, asking questions.
Yeah.
To talk
I think
over.
even Taeyeon is like keeping up because like he's kind of used to.
Yes, yeah.
It's just like yeah.
And in like mid-sentence, she just stops and fully just goes, "Oh, and I erased all footage of us being here, and it's just sort of on a constant running. So everywhere we go, it's just going to erase locally." Anyway, so we also found this like
Thank you.
Yeah. Good.
I hope
Love
we're
it,
alone.
Thinking about all the times we could have used that and other. I'm
I
like,
know.
thank you.
I
so,
think Wire did that for us once.
Yeah.
We had like a device that scrubbed us from.
yeah. So, yeah, you basically, like, with a by the time you start kind of browsing the actual like warehouses, looking for like walking down the stacks looking for yours, you have a pretty solid understanding of a pretty solid understanding that Awakener was here, and you have a good idea of where she went next.
Heading.
Yeah. So
I think Taeyeon like watches Bina as he's keeping up with the information, but he kind of watches Bina's reaction. 'Cause I think he's kind of been worried about Bina a bit as well. So yeah, he's just kind of watching like, what's her reaction? Does she seem to
on
become
like
less
the
tense?
confirmation, on the confirmation that like it is Awakener, I think there is like, you probably feel it, like you probably feel like a tentative hopefulness, like there's still like that dread because like we still don't know what's going on, but like tentatively hope, I think, like, and like a lot of shock, and like was kind of before this resigned to this is just reality now, and now she is like having to reorient like her entire everything. So there's like a lot of like trying to catch up with what the current reality is, potential reality is, and that's kind of where she's at. So that, and she doesn't really hide any of that except for her outward projection. So like visibly, you could probably pick a lot of that up from her body language, the way she's talking and her facial expressions. But some of it, if you're close enough, you probably feel too. She's probably got a little bit of her outward aura happening because this is a lot.
I think Taeyeon like kind of grins, and you can tell it, like you see his tail kind of whip a bit faster. And he just like pats Bina on the back and says, we're gonna find her.
Is there like any other, like Mason's just looking around, are there any, out of character for a second, are there other clues that we might need?
Wait, so did we had where they were going? Where are they headed? We just know
Corporate space.
Commonwealth space.
There's
or what
On the
was it?
fringe, the
No,
conduit.
Likely corporate
The
space, right?
no, that's where it was coming from.
Oh.
Yeah, it was coming from that direction. The conduit that it was going to was just sort of fringe ascendancy border world space.
World's got it.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. Okay. Is that where the conduit is?
Would be a good place for it.
Yeah, it would.
So
Just wondering if there's anything in our immediate vicinity that needs to be examined.
I mean, so, Bina, we should probably do a quick lay of the land again, quick, because they probably know that this is your warehouse. I would not be surprised they posted things, some kind of sensors, monitors, people, to keep an eye out.
I think Bina will attempt she probably hasn't done this in a while, but like intentionally doing her like however far out she can feel for sentience, emotions, I guess. Okay. And then but that's the most she can do. She can't, like, Ada can look into other things, but that's what Bina can do. So she's gonna just see if there is anyone around.
Tell you what,
if
somebody wants to helm a like sort of general perception, I will say.
I know the area.
What?
I would say I know the area. Like maybe.
Right. My thought was that Ada can serve as an asset on this because she can sort of do the tech sweep. So.
Yeah, I'll helm if everyone's okay with it, or someone else want to.
Go ahead.
Okay.
It's your place.
Okay.
All right. So this is gonna be a difficulty 5.
Okay. Cool. So. Task involving sight.
That's the thing. I'm not sure because it sort of depends.
If it's combo, because we're doing like I think, is this a full swing? Because it's visual, emotional,
it's visual and
tech, so it all.
I'm gonna
like,
say
hearing...
yes, actually.
Okay.
I'm gonna say yeah.
Okay, so that's 3.
And I'm not sorry. Hold on a second. I'm actually considering bumping it up to a 6 because you're not just looking for specific things. You're looking for it's a general, like, anything kind of thing that you're looking for. So I think it's gonna be a 6 difficulty.
6,
cool. So yeah.
Cool. So, sight.
Yep.
Ada. Sensing emotions, dispositions.
Yeah.
And I get a free load.
Okay. Cool. Cool.
Of course.
Are you gonna? Do you want to roll
I was
anyway?
gonna say if I'm, yeah, kind of. And I'm familiar with the place, so I don't know if that would help at all. But I mean, it's been a while since I've been here. Are you fucking kidding me?
Did you just
What'd
roll
you
a 1?
I just rolled a 1.
Oh my.
Fuck you. This is
goodness.
important. I'm
Yeah.
spending to
Oh,
reroll.
You know,
Okay.
Damien Ellis is just sitting in
Yeah,
there.
no,
Just
this
like,
is important.
hello.
I want to
No.
get to this garage. I need
expecting
to
to.
get in this garage. I'm spending to roll.
Yeah. Okay, go for it.
God, fucking of course. Shouldn't have rolled with that one. 11.
Okay, cool. So
God. I'm so mad. I knew it was gonna. As soon as I rolled, I was like, "This is gonna be a 1," and then it was. A
I
1.
thought so too.
I knew it. I fucking knew it.
Oh god.
All right.
Alright.
Anyways,
Cool.
continue.
So between you, just sort of scanning around the area, just sort of like reaching out, seeing if you can feel anyone around emotionally, or if you can see anybody watching, and Ada doing sort of a tech sweep to see if there's any kind of like bugs or anything that sort of, you are pretty confident that there appears to be no unusual surveillance. Like, there's absolutely surveillance, but like the kind that you would expect just from the warehouses and stuff like that. And there doesn't appear to be. Ada doesn't find any taps. No kind of like suspicious tech or things like
I mean,
that.
if there was, it would have probably been within the first few months, and they might
Yeah.
have given up if that's the case.
Yeah.
That's
so
my inclination.
quite possibly.
Quite possibly.
But yeah, it seems like there are people here, but they're well beyond your like, you see them distantly, like well down the stacks,
Yeah.
and they look like right now what you see is a couple people who are like they're either loading stuff in like onto a vehicle, or they're taking stuff off the vehicle and storing it. It's hard to tell from this distance because they're like a ways down, but yeah.
I think when Ada and like Bina both confirmed that, Tim kind of sighs and goes, "I'm sorry if I'm being like overly cautious, but the corps don't. I mean, they don't really play nice. Just wanted to make sure."
That's a good idea.
Before too long, you find yourself standing in front of a familiar warehouse. With the sort of big, sort of like garage type door, like little like sort of digital keypad that's there. Yeah.
Type in her passcode.
Okay.
Hypothetically, it unlocks.
Yeah. You type in you go ahead and you type in the thing. And
111.
Yeah, 111.
And you see as it loads for a moment and then just reaches with it. It says code not recognized.
Does it have a like registration? Like, is this still registered to me?
I'm not sure if you wouldn't be able to tell that from here.
Okay. Could I have Ada try to find out?
Yeah.
I would like to do
Okay.
that.
I love it. Ada's also a resident hacker.
Yeah.
Let's go.
So-
I know, this is great.
Love
So
it.
yeah, you
So helpful.
you can you watch as she just basically like sits down with her like back to the like, not the door itself, but like the space between
Yeah.
that and its neighbor. She just sort of sits down back against the wall, pulls up her holographic interface, and just starts like fingers flying across it. As she does, you can see as it starts to, like, information starts to kind of fly across it, and she looks up, she says, "I'm sorry, it's not registered under your name anymore. It looks like," she says, "it looks like this is somebody else's storage unit now." She kind of looks through and says, "Wait, here's something. There was a withdrawal. Usually these things, they clear when, and I'm looking at their policy here, and it looks like when somebody is sort of doesn't, the tab runs up on the thing without it being paid."
Oh, damn, I thought she owned the garage. Never mind, continue. Sorry.
The contents get repossessed and auctioned, but that didn't happen with this one. It looks like somebody actually came and withdrew the contents and closed the the subscription on the warehouse.
Can you get us in?
I mean I suppose I can. She sort of looks around, and you see as she just starts right then and there, going at it, and then you see after a moment there's sort of like the keypad goes dark and then comes back online and flashes green, and you can hear the locks disengaging.
I want to know what's in here. If someone just changed the name and registration and my shit's still in here, or
Yeah,
if it
you
is fully emptied?
you open the door, just sort of like rises up, the door kind of ratcheting up, kind of noisy and old, but and as it does, you look inside to see, it looks like personal storage. Like there are boxes in here, crates, and just sort of glancing at them, a lot of it looks like personal effects. None of them look familiar.
She closes it
Mhm.
immediately. She just shuts it down and is kind of like,
Hmm.
who cleared it?
She looks, she says, "There's no name. Actually, there's no record at all. Just that it happened."
You know when?
About 4 months ago.
Hmm.
Maybe there's something in that room that will tell us something.
Just rented it out to someone else. It's not going to be.
Tayon, I mean, it's still unlocked, I guess. So
Mhm.
Taylor's gonna like open it again
Mhm.
and just rummage through the personal effects just to see who it is.
Okay.
If there's a name, a photo, anything.
Mason's gonna
Oh my
jump there too.
gosh.
Yeah. I don't think.
It doesn't seem very polite.
You know what? I'm gonna.
This is just
Tayon
some
doesn't
I'm gonna
care.
have you. Yeah. I'm gonna have you roll. This is gonna be
My first roll of the day.
Yeah!
My first roll of the game. I think it's my first roll of the
It might
game.
be. It
might be,
since
yeah.
I started as a permanent classroom. Yeah.
All right.
Nice.
So this is gonna be a intellect roll. Difficulty on this one is gonna be 5. There's a lot of stuff in here, so like going through it within a short amount of time is, yeah. So yeah.
What do I have?
I'll say that Mason helping can work as an asset here.
Okay, so I go from 5 down to 4. Tayon isn't equipped for this kind of stuff. So this might have to just use a level of effort. Yeah, I'll use a level of effort.
Is Mason also looking? Is that
that's
an
that
asset?
is an
Was
asset.
that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've already
Oh
included that, yeah.
damn. Okay.
That's fine. I've got a lot of
bug
my
in
intellect's
here.
pretty high.
Sorry.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go with
Okay.
that.
So it's
I'm gonna
difficulty
test
3
my
right now.
luck.
All
Yeah.
right. So you just need a 9 or better.
10.
Oh, okay.
Just made it.
Yeah. The two of you search through this stuff and like as thoroughly as you can, given that you like mostly don't want to be noticed, like rummaging through somebody else's storage unit. But you rummage through it. A lot of it is like, some of it is books. There's what looks like an old stove in here. There's some looks like just sort of odds and ends, like things that look like what it looks like honestly is like these are things that were taken out of somebody's home and stored here temporarily, like the kind of thing that you would do if you were moving. There's nothing particularly significant about any of these things. It looks like just somebody is storing stuff here, like their own like sort of personal stuff.
I think like Tayon probably pokes his head out of a box with like a hat on his head that just managed to get there. just kind of shrugged like I didn't find anything. I was hoping I'd find a photo or something. Like just takes the hat off.
I suspect that it's more important who took it out than who put it in.
Yeah.
And I think Bina kind of like she didn't assist in the looking at all. She didn't think it would help, and so she's just kind of, I think she's just sitting on the ground and kind of puts her like runs her hands over her antennas and is just kind of like deep breathing and looking up at the sky and just kind of is like, I don't know why I thought I would find her.
Find who?
I want to try something,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't know how it works really.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I did get it recently.
Uh-huh.
I want to try. I don't know how this works,
Okay.
but I want to try to read the signs.
I know exactly what you're talking about because
It's 4 intellect.
yeah, I
points.
used it this recently. Well, I didn't use it, but I took it on my Cypher character that I made recently.
I can ask up to 4 questions about the immediate area and learn a precise, useful detail about the past, if it exists. And I just don't know what the questions are exactly.
Right. Well, you
but
can
I
you
do
can
wanna use
crowdsource this if you want. You can crowdsource
Okay.
those.
If this doesn't work, I can try premonition. We can do future and past.
Yes,
I mean,
love it.
I just realized I have C. I think it's called C history.
Post cognition.
I think that's yeah.
See the history of this place.
Yeah, I think so.
Well, let's do read the signs. Let's try that first.
Yeah, let's try that
Everybody
first.
Yeah. Everybody's got something for this except literally everyone.
We want to get the ship back.
Bina,
is she?
I'm just sitting there like, Bina, we'll get your ship back.
All right. So
Like that's all, I have no reason to believe that. I'm just saying.
I
I don't even
believe
think Teo knows what we're looking for. Teo just like
No,
Bina wants to find something. I want to help her. She seems
I-
sad. I don't like that.
unless I'm much mistaken, Freeman, I believe that you may need to roll for each of these individually.
Yeah, exactly. Each requires its own role. Action.
Yeah. So yeah, you can feel free to crowdsource these questions if you want.
Yeah, that exactly. Like what is a good question? What is a good 4 questions even?
I'm not even sure. Like most of my questions, I feel like are gonna come with like not here, because I don't know. In my head, this is just like some guy's stuff.
Yeah, but
after
someone
this-
also took stuff from here.
Yeah, but like,
How
how do we figure out? How do we ask about that with what we have available to us?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Cypher Unlimited rated us. Thank you. Hello, welcome everybody. We're currently solving some mysteries.
We're reading the signs.
Reading the signs.
We're gonna see. We're gonna attempt to read the signs.
Could like the immediate area, like the could we see if stuff was moved out hastily, if there was some kind of like damage?
Like of the building itself, like
Yeah.
like the floor, the walls, like if Bina could describe what it looked like before, like because this had like benches and
I can tell you this
shelving
though.
and, like,
This is
tools.
this is for your own knowledge. This is gonna be the rolls on these are gonna be pretty high because it has been months. And
Yeah,
there's been a
that's
lot of
that's my
through
word.
traffic in and out,
Yeah.
people like moving stuff in and out.
And it could be dragged from like the other person moving stuff in
Yeah.
too.
So I don't know how to. That's a hard.
So I'll
one.
tell you that right
It
now
is.
that these are going to be very, very high rolls if you choose to do this. I'm telling you now so that you don't spend if you don't
Okay.
want to, but just so
Fair
that you
enough.
are aware, like this is essentially a cold case.
Yeah. Maybe
I guess- yeah.
we start with the magical means and then go back to the practical ones.
I wouldn't mind that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just knowing what I know. Yeah.
We have more to go off of.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
All right, so, oh, Dracker, I think you're muted.
Yes, I was.
Sorry, what were you saying?
Well,
I'm just saying, like, Peach, do you want to go with your magical means first? Or
I like
yeah, I
magic.
mean, well, it's really more of just kind of sensing the surroundings and what's going on. But okay, and I'm gonna go ahead and and walk in, and I'm gonna try to use premonition, which is only 2 intellect, which seems like a scam. Like I feel like that's OP.
Yeah.
I learned 1 random fact about a creature or location that is pertinent to the topic you designate. So, I could specifically ask, Bina, are you looking for something specific that I could look for, a specific item, or?
My racing craft.
Okay.
I can pull up the specs if that would help. I don't know if you have to be actually familiar, tangibly familiar with the item.
A picture would probably help.
But I'll pull up. Yeah, I can pull up some specs
Okay.
of the craft.
I'm gonna go ahead
If
and kind
they're
of study,
available.
kind of study it for a second, and then where did you keep it in the room? Did you have?
And I'll kind of like, it was over here, and then I had the parts over there, and the shelves were up here, and she'll kind of describe the space.
Okay. Kind of walking in and imagining the space and kind of ducking back to just make sure that no one is watching us do this. Kind of walk in and run my hands over where the bike would have been, and just kind of close my eyes and use premonition to try to see if I can figure out where it currently is, the location it is now of the specific item.
I'm going to offer you a GM intrusion.
Oh.
I don't know. With the way that my powers have been going, I don't know if I am interested in taking that.
It costs you to not take it.
Okay, I'm gonna take it.
Cool. I feel like a sizable portion of my work as a GM in the Cypher system is just baiting you into taking the GM intrusions, being like, hey, listen,
know what you're gonna
it
do.
costs
Like,
more
I just...
to not take it. So
Well, I always want to know what you're gonna do, so I always want to hear it.
So go ahead and take an XP and hand one off to whoever you choose. I think everybody is equally involved in this, so you can feel free to just take your pick.
I'll give it to Bina.
Okay.
Oh boy.
All right. So yeah, you find yourself kind of slipping into that mindset like you've done in the past. And you sort of see almost like a ghostly recreation of, like, you're still seeing what's there. But you're almost seeing like sort of a double vision, like overlaying over what you're seeing here of a much emptier space. With only really one object in it, a sort of craft. Caitlin, do you have a description?
I do.
Yeah, do you want to describe it?
I do. I kind of want to just describe the whole space.
Yeah, sure. Go for it.
Okay, so in this room, it is brightly lit. It's cleaner than probably any space you would have ever seen Bina have. One of the far walls is just lined with tools from about as high up as she could probably reach, and then it stops. And there is a shelf. There's kind of like an area to the left side where there are like rows of parts, either burnt out or things that you don't know, maybe intend to be upgraded. And then off to the right, there is this very, what you were probably seeing would be probably very sleek shaped. So it's like from the nose of it, it comes up at like almost a perfect triangle. I actually have a couple of, they're not real drawings, but they're just like the shapes of it that you would kind of see. So kind of, like that shape, back, front, whatever, those aren't very good, but like that there, it's this very small craft. Bina is the only person that would be able to fit. Like anyone of your stature, you're too tall, you wouldn't fit it. Only Bina and one individual could fit inside of it. And it's probably very ghostly looking, so you probably aren't getting details, but that's kind of the shape. It's wide, it gets wide, and it is narrow and very small. And it's probably about, the back end is probably about a Bina tall, and the whole thing is probably only like a Bina and a half or 2 Binas long. Like,
oh my gosh.
Very little. It's a very small craft.
She's kind of like, her Peach's eyes are closed, but you can kind of just see like a slight grin kind of come on her face, and you're just kind of probably imagining what she's looking at.
Does she have her name on it? Like printed on it anywhere?
Probably not when it's in the shop. In the shop, it would have, so it looks pretty beat up, I think. Like in the shop, because it would have, anytime it's not off base, it would have the cloak, it would have the camo on. So it looks like so then I don't know exactly. So yeah, it would look like almost like a maintenance vessel. Like it is kind of like a dingy brown, with like probably some unremarkable numbers on the side. It does not match the space that it is in.
Undercover.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you see it, and you see, as you're standing there, you watch overlaid over the door that to the space that is already open, you see a sort of separate door opening, sort of overlaid, almost like a ghostly image opening, as you see a couple of figures standing in the entryway. One of them turns and says, "This the one?" And the other figure, taller, sort of looks in and says, "Yeah, that's the one. That's the one." He says, "Thank you. I'll take it from here." And the sort of shorter figure, kind of looks inside. They're kind of backlit from your perspective, so you're not making out too many features, but you see one of them just sort of the shorter one wander off, out of your field of view. And you see the other figure, the one remaining, sort of step inside, and you see sort of an older looking man, mostly human, but with some other non-human features. You see as he sort of steps into the room, he says, "Hey, girl," he says, "what say I take you out of here, huh?" And you see as he steps over to the craft, and you start seeing that vision sort of freezes in place, and you're still seeing that double vision, but hold on, as you're standing there, Peach, you also begin to sense a presence.
Mm-hmm.
And as you kind of look around, you're looking for the source of it anywhere, and you just see suddenly you don't see necessarily the source of it, but you know where it's coming from, and you look towards where you see the frozen image of the man sort of reaching down for the bike, and you watch as suddenly the shadows sort of shift, and you see somebody step through the image, and walk towards you. And the thing that's weird about this is the fact that even not in the premonition, even in real life, there's stuff in the way that this person would have had to have walked around or climbed over to get to where you are. But you see as they just seem to effortlessly walk through that stuff. And as you look more closely, you can see a figure that you've seen before. You see yourself. And as this figure, she steps towards you, dressed in sort of kind of flowier, sort of dark, grays and blues. She sort of steps up to you, looks you right in the face as she draws up level with you, and she says, "Not now, but I think it's probably time that you and I have a conversation." And you see you watch as the premonition fades, and you find yourself once again standing in the warehouse. She is still there.
Are other people reacting? Can anyone else see her?
No. You watch as you kind of look around to their reactions. You can see that they're all kind of watching you in sort of anticipation.
Did you see anything?
Kind of turning to Bina. Yeah, an older human man. He seemed like he was friendly with the bike. He took it out. And I'm gonna describe what he looked like.
Is it Casimir?
It sounds like it could be.
He seemed like he had affection for it, so it's probably someone who knew you.
He's probably one of the only people who would have.
Yeah, there's
been out here
nobody that you knew aside from Casimir has been here.
Been here, yeah. And Casimir is a older Terran man, so that would. Oh boy.
Peach just kind of trying not to like stare at the person, the
Mhm.
figure, but like
What's-
is kind of
Peach
glancing
feeling?
back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Peach, look.
Because
The-
Peach is
Look,
tuned
look where's
into you
Peach
right now.
feeling.
So
Yeah,
Peach
Peach
is
is
Ada
kind of
picking up
tuned
Peach
anything?
is trying to be casual about it. Like she kind of has a tight grip on like kind of knowing that there are like empaths in the room. Like she's kind of like trying not to freak out about
Okay, but
it.
that's a feeling.
But the thing that's like a little bit of like fear is definitely like probably the most prominent thing, and also like worry and then like kind of a twinge of curiosity are probably like the three strongest things.
So if that's the case, I think Bina processes this information and kind of is just like sad that once again another thing that she couldn't follow up on, and then I think tunes into that and just is kind of like looks up at you.
Peach is kind of looking at the figure, but like
she's
not
she's
like
walking
she's
around
kind of
the
trying to
room.
like look past,
She's walking around the small space, and you watch as she like stands right up next to Mason, just kind of like looking directly into his face.
Bina's looking into yours, so it's very.
But now, would that mean that is Peach? If Peach's
Peach
gaze
is
is
kind of like
following,
literally like yeah, she's like her gaze is kind of following.
So if you're looking in
around,
my
like, her
direction like
eyes
that, I
are
think
wandering.
Mason might be a little concerned.
You probably also haven't seen Bina react to someone else's emotions in a while. So her
Hold
quick
up.
tuning into you was.
Mason's just like, hold up, something. What's up?
She, as you're watching, she like turns and looks at you, and just sort of puts an arm around Mason, around his shoulders, and just goes, "Tell him whatever you like."
Bina's gonna say,
Peach is silent, which is like very like odd.
Yeah,
like that
yeah.
that in itself, the fact that she's not saying anything like strikes you as odd.
Bina's going to. Peach, can I try something?
Yes.
I want to mind read Peach.
Okay.
I want to read Peach's mind.
All right. I'm gonna make you roll for this.
Not that I like. There's. I think Bina sees that there's something in her posture that has changed, and like the fact that she. Like, I don't think she thinks she's withholding. I think she is just concerned for her well-being. So I'm like, what is she seeing? What did she see? Something she can't. The way that she clammed up is very like. So I want to see if I can see what she sees. So what am I rolling?
I was gonna pull up the ability really quick here.
Meanwhile,
Peach is
Taeyeon's
okay.
completely clueless.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah,
just
I
sitting
know,
next
I
to
know.
Ada, like, "Hey, how are you doing? How's your drink with
Yeah,
Mason?"
she's just like, "Oh, it was great. I had some water. I almost had a drink of like a shot, but Mason got me water instead. It was okay."
Yeah, no, yeah. I remember last time remember last time we got drunk? I don't think it.
So
was really
Caitlin, you
this.
don't have to roll. It usually it just
Right.
happens.
No,
I
I'm
think
making
this
her
is
roll.
yeah.
Oh,
Separate,
okay.
Yeah. So I'm wondering if Peach can assist me here, if she's gonna let it happen, because she has the same ability. That's my question. I know I'm gonna have to roll anyways, but I'm wondering if we can create some sort of.
I'm gonna say no.
Okay, cool. I love that.
I'm gonna say no, and there is a reason for it. I'm gonna,
Yes.
but yeah, So I think so. This is going to be a difficulty 8.
Excellent.
Ooh.
Excellent.
It's gonna be an intellect roll.
Perfect.
And as is kind of happening at this point, kind of after a few moments of silence, Peach is gonna kind of turn and especially if you guys are like talking and stuff, she's gonna kind of turn and say, would you guys mind just stepping out of the unit for a second? I just want to check something else out. I need focus.
Oh, yeah, sure. Okay.
Ada says, I'll let you know if anybody notices that the that this was opened. And
Thanks.
Yeah.
This is an odd question, but can Mason help somehow? Because guess who else has mind reading? Because of that adaptation that he got.
Ooh.
That I almost forgot about because it was
Oh,
2
no.
tiers ago.
That's
I'm gonna
hysterical.
say no. Just because that seems.
And also,
Yeah.
Bina's kind of like doing this
Strange.
internally. She's not.
That's a good
Yeah,
point,
I'm also
but
trained in intellect defense, so I don't know if that.
I'm saying you can like drive like you're.
No,
letting
I
it
mean,
happen
Peach isn't
hypothetically.
resisting, but I
I
just.
don't
know,
think
I
it's
know.
Peach that you're fighting against. I don't think it's Peach.
Okay.
with
Yeah.
all I know is Mason's like, something does not add up here.
Okay.
So okay, so I'm gonna read a few things. I don't know if any of them
Okay.
are gonna help.
Does
So-
Mason leave when I say that, or does he stay in the room?
I wait for them to
Oh
leave.
yeah, I
and
mean, I'll move. I'm trying to. I think before she asked, I'm trying to read her mind. But if she asks, then I will step out too. But
Oh, I guess I can.
It was more directed at like the people talking.
oh, okay.
I'll step.
but yeah,
Mason,
it just.
Mason kind of steps back slowly,
Okay.
but he's moving back.
All right, Caitlin, what do you got?
Okay, so you let me know if any of this helps. Sensing emotions, dispositions.
Not here because of the specific thing that you're trying to do.
Cool.
So yeah.
That's I'm just reading. I
Sure,
don't know if these are
sure.
gonna help. Social interactions, pleasant or otherwise.
Technically, but like
I'm saying I'm
Yeah,
not arguing for it. These are the only things I
I
can
don't
do. So you
think
just tell me
I
yes
don't
or no.
think
It's fine.
so. 'Cause this isn't. Yeah, this I don't know that those would really apply here.
Tasks involving sight because I'm
No,
trying to
absolutely
see.
not. Absolutely not.
I didn't think so.
My eyes
Okay.
are open, so like you know.
So I don't know if this is a role that's possible for me, but we're gonna find out. So
I'm still like. I'm not sure.
Can I use encouragement?
yeah,
Can
you
you?
can.
Because how specifically does that work?
It's an ability I'm trained in.
Actually, you know what? No. Here's the thing. You can't. I'm saying this right now, Peach.
Yeah.
You
Okay,
cannot help
cool.
at all.
I love this.
Specifically,
I love
you cannot help right now.
this. Excellent.
Yeah, I didn't think so, but
Yeah.
I'm a
Okay.
little busy.
Mhm.
Okay.
I'm trying to decide if, because like the social like it's a fringe thing where like maybe, but
It's your call.
I'm trying to
yeah, I'll-
decide if it's. Yeah, I don't see it. I don't see it being
Okay.
relevant.
So I have a free level
Mhm.
of effort, and I'm gonna dunk 3
Okay.
in
So that brings it down to a 4.
to a
Okay.
4. And that's as low as I can get
Okay.
it.
So
That's a 12.
yep,
or
12 or
better.
better.
2.
Okay.
Do you want to re-roll?
Oh, I want
XP?
I'm not gonna reroll.
Okay.
Okay. So here's what happens. You reach out, trying to, as you've done in the past several times, not recently, but as you have done in the past, reaching out to connect with Peach's mind, with her surface thoughts. And you are halted. Just dead stop. And you're not sure if you're imagining it or not, but almost the mental equivalent of like a shove. And very suddenly, you feel nothing from Peach, including emotions.
Also, I will say I don't know if
Mhm.
this will affect anything at all. This is me
Mhm.
just throwing myself under the bus because it's fun. I have a a +1 to intellect defense rolls. I have an inability in intellect defense. So
Yeah,
if
no,
this is an
I
intellect
don't. That
battle,
doesn't. That I don't think that applies here.
I know it's not technically, but I'm just
Right.
saying that is.
Yeah, no, I don't think that'll apply here. Not even flavor wise,
Okay.
because this isn't really like. It doesn't feel like anything is like encroaching on you
Yeah, okay.
specifically. It's more
Okay.
just.
It's just I can't
Yeah,
get in. Okay.
but like you were feeling some of Peach's emotional state up until literally just now, and it's gone. You don't feel it at all. Nothing. So not only did you not get anything from reading her surface thoughts, you also got nothing emotionally.
Nothing. Does it fade back in, or does
Nope.
it continue to be radio silent?
Silent.
I want to see if I want to sense like is this person here? Like, I want to try and like get a sense of like, am I being pulled into a dream? Are they a projection? Like, are they also having like I want to try to kind of like get
I think
a
I can just tell you
feel
that.
Yeah.
She's not here. This is definitely some sort of projected something.
Yeah, okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. You know that it is very much exactly the kind of thing that you would experience if you were doing this to somebody else.
Yeah.
She's anchored to. She's not here, but she's anchored to your mind.
She says, "Look, I'm not going to talk here, so the sooner we get out of here, the sooner you get your answers, so."
Just gonna hang around.
It's an open invitation, apparently.
Is that out loud? Or was
Yeah,
that in her head?
it was out loud.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I guess we're going for a walk.
Okay. We'll leave. We'll close up the storage facility.
As you
lock it up
step
again.
out, Peach, of the unit, and as you do, she just sort of fades, but you can still feel that presence. It doesn't go away.
Does it feel the same as like the presence that I felt when I've woken up? Like it's the same. Yeah. Okay. That's what I thought.
You close up the unit, and Ada and Taeyeon, who are just sort of standing sort of separately, kind of a little off to the side, look over, and Ada goes, "Well, what's next? What do we do now?"
Yeah, we got like a heading, right? The conduit.
Caitlin, can't hear you.
Okay, I think you're muted.
Hello, I'm not muted. Can you
Yeah.
hear now?
Yeah, that's the thing I noticed throughout the game. Every so often be silent and then just suddenly come into audio. So I don't know.
Interesting. I'll need to look into that. I think we know where Awakeners was headed, and I think I think Casimir knows something. Maybe that's a passive project. See if we can find him showing up anywhere else. But we at least have a direction for possibly Awakener now.
I mean, that sounds good. That's good news.
I'll Ada looks down and says, "I'll send word back to the ship to have it prepped, because the sooner we get going, the sooner we catch up. She's got kind of a head start on us."
Yeah.
We'll catch up.
Okay. Yeah. You all begin walking, making your way back to the space dock.
It is much more solemn on the way back. I think this has disheartened her a little bit.
Yeah. And as you're making your way back, waiting, like, as Bina is basically like, or whoever actually wants to helm any sort of like, probably Bina just because it's familiar to you, but you, as Bina is sort of discussing departure with one of the dock workers, just sort of engaging in shop talk, basically, just as almost sort of as a distraction, as well as procedural. Peach, you're sort of standing there, and you don't see her, but you hear her, as she says, "You and I have a lot to talk about."
Here on the ship.
As soon as we get going, you'll find the time.
Well, you have a lot of explaining to do.
There's silence.
This is in her head also. She's not saying this part aloud.
There's silence for a moment, and then you hear, Can't wait. And I think that's where we're going to end tonight's episode.
Ah!
Shit.
Oh, God damn it.
So many questions.
Okay.
I really think. I really posted in chat. This has to be future Peach. I don't. It's the only thing I can think of.
Well, I'm gonna have. I'm. You know, I'm not gonna be freaking out for the next week or anything. Oh,
This is tier 6 Peach from the future. That's my headcanon.
All right. Well, that's where we're gonna leave off tonight. Thanks everybody for hanging out. Everybody who followed and subscribed and gifted subs. Thank you. We will be back with Infinite Horizon next Wednesday at 6 p.m. Pacific time. Before then, we have Ramblemancy on Friday, where we'll be talking about the character creation process and all the stuff that you think about when you make your characters, and we really get inside your process. Sorry, I couldn't resist.
Lots of fun.
And and of course, don't forget that we tonight announced. I'm gonna put it back up because it's great. We announced our upcoming D&D Waterdeep Dragon Heist actual play, Into Deep. We announced the cast and the title of the show tonight. We will be starting that next Tuesday with their character prologues, where you'll get to meet a couple of the characters and see some like events that that happen sort of before the actual campaign itself begins. Do that in 2 prologue episodes in successive weeks. And then the campaign will start up when we come back, second week of January. So yeah, really looking forward to that. So tune in next Tuesday at 3:30 p.m. Pacific time. It will be immediately available on VOD here on this very channel, as well as on YouTube. We don't have dates for YouTube release just yet, but it'll be pretty soon. It'll be within the same week. So yeah, so we will be doing that. So make sure to tune in for that, and keep an eye out for updates to that stuff. So yeah, more things. Yeah, so we're gonna head out. So thank you again, everybody. Thanks for being here. Thanks for coming.
Thanks for watching.
If anybody has anything that they'd like to announce, you can feel free to do so right now.
Miss Alma.
I'd like to. I'd like to announce that I'm gonna freak out later.
I have an announcement that's not about freaking out, but so
Good.
basically,
much
so
is.
I think I mentioned it before, but on Friends Who Roll Dice, we're doing a month-long charity event where we're raising money for the Philippines, and we did a big 10-hour stream on Sunday and raised $535, which was great. It was a ton of fun. Played everyone is ScarJo. It was hilarious. I really recommend
So
watching.
funny.
It was so
that's
fucking good. It was
amazing.
so good. But yeah, we're continuing with that, and to the next game we have is a superhero two-shot called Legends, the superhero role-playing game. And we're going to be playtesting it. It's a system that hasn't been out yet, but it's in playtest right now. And I managed to get my hands on a copy, and they said I can stream it. So we thought we might as well add it to the month-long event. So yeah, I'm going to on Friday from 7:30 to 10 p.m. Eastern, over on Friends Who Roll Dice, we're going to be playing that game, and it's got a bunch of really awesome people playing that. A lot of superhero and anime fans. So like, it's going to be a bit over the top. It's great.
Perfect.
That's going to be happening this Friday, and then the second part's going to be next Friday. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I have a whole schedule, but yeah, just follow me on Twitter if you want to see that. But that's the main thing I want to plug.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you again, everybody. We will see you the next time you decide to come roll with us. Good night and good zone.
Good night. Sleep well, everybody.